Good morning. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's
Y'all
going
know
on?
who it is, man. Is we back? Finally back with the Darion Hopkins show, man. It's Monday, May 8th. We in like the almost like what the second week of May already, if I'm not mistaken. The way things is just going, the way times are just flying. I am your host, Darian of the Darion Hopkins Show. We have an action-packed show today. But before we get into any of the topics today, just want to let y'all know we are sponsored by SeatGeek. If you want to go to any live event, any sporting event that's out right now, make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. So if you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. And for Bet Us as well, if you are in the betting world or the sports betting world, if you even like to play the games like the casino games online as well, make sure you go to betus.com or go to the link in the description and get the special offer with my link that's in the description. Make sure you go to betus.com and check that out over there. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the Darion Hopkins Show Facebook page, and we are live on YouTube. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and share as well while we're on there. So shout out to everybody that is here. But before we get into anything else, I have a group of guys here with me that's going to be a part of the Darion Hopkins Show with me now. Instead of me just seeing my face talk all the time, you can see it from other people's perspective as well. And I think this is to my right of me, if I'm not mistaken. To my right of me, I have my guy that's Maryland everything, Baltimore everything, from Ravens, the Oilers to Terrapins to uh the the Boston Celtics, I think, to end like the little bit of the
Yes,
Washington
yes.
Wizards as well. If I'm not mistaken, we
Uh,
got my boy Matt Campbell. Oh, Bullets, not Wizards, Bullets. Got my boy Matt Campbell in the building. What's going on, man?
what's going on? What's going on? Essentially, man, I'm just off for the NBA today. Got plenty of bets. I got a couple long shots here, but I also got some pretty easy bets that should bring everybody a couple dollars. All in all, man, I'm excited for the first game of the Heat versus the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jimmy Butler is going to have another one of those games where he's just going to show off and show out. And I feel like the 3-point line is going to erupt from both sides. I feel like Brunson is going to have a good game. Um, so start off the first bet that I have is Brunson going for 20 points, 5 assists. Randall going for 20 points, 5 rebounds, and the over to be over 206. And the only thing that I'm missing from this is I wanted to put Knicks win, but again, Jimmy Butler being so hot and the Heat just playing so consistently every single game. It's hard for me to put Knicks win on there, but I definitely feel like they go over the total with the 3-pointers. I just feel like they're going to hit, and it's going to be a good game today. Moving over to the Lakers with Curry having I don't want to say a bad game. It's just not what we're used to from Curry. We're used to him, 25, 28, 30 points in the playoffs. We're used to seeing him hit, 5, 6 3-pointers. And we're so used to this. So when he only plays for 20 points and he only hits 1 or 2 3-pointers, we see it as like an off game. But whereas though he went down, Thompson brought his game up and elevated, and the rest of them elevated. And with Draymond Green, not exactly my favorite guy, but when he's been on the court lately, he has definitely risen the presence of everybody else. You can tell they want to play better defense. They're going after it.
Oh man. I just want to make sure everybody's mic is good because the Business Decision Sports said it was an echo going on, so I will just make sure everybody is good.
Am
If
I
you do want to
echoing?
go in your settings and see if you can check off the echo cancellation, if you can, You not. I mean, if not, then it's fine. Then we just, we're still gonna talk our sports regardless. But
Yeah,
hey,
no, we're gonna make the show as good as possible.
I got it checked on. Is it should it be off?
no, the check should be on.
Cool.
I'm check is on.
Okay, let me turn mine on.
So it should be no echo now, because I don't hear no echo at all. Because I heard it a little bit in yours, bro, but it was all good now. I think you fixed it. But
Okay.
instead of shout out to the panel, shout out to Business Decisions Sports, shout out to you for being in here for it. But I don't know if y'all heard the bets, but if we could go back over them for the more people that is going to come into the show. But we have the set, man. We have the set here. I'm gonna just call you Laker fan for life. That's what I'm gonna call you.
Who?
I'm gonna call you Laker fan for life down here, sir. Mr. Ed himself.
Oh, I mean,
hey,
I've been Laker fan since Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, and all them. So I'm true to it. I ain't new to it. I've been a Laker fan.
But you see, I'm more of a diehard Raiders fan than I am a Sixers fan. I just do it because of my hometown. I was never brought up to be an Eagles fan. So hey,
right. I mean, that's good. Y'all ain't one shit about like 80 years at once.
Because I can't listen. I lived on the West Coast, but I was born and raised in Philadelphia. So like, I got to rock out. My aunt and my uncle, they Raiders fans out there, and they Raiders fans out there in Oakland, no matter if they moved to Las Vegas or not, but they Raiders fans out there. I lived out there many a times back and forth, but hey, it's still the Sixers for me. It's still the Sixers.
Yeah.
But how y'all doing, man? How the panel is feeling since we officially have the guys on here? How y'all feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, man. James Harden with a good game yesterday. Great game.
In the days they want to have good games, when I tell you my internet was out in the whole complex, because everybody has the same internet through the complex. It was out all night. I was so heated, yo. I'm like, now I get two good games that I can't even do the play-by-play. I was so mad.
Jesus.
So mad about it. But let's talk about those games. Actually, let's talk about the games. First game, Philadelphia 76ers, Boston Celtics. Sixers won 117-116 in a close one. Now, I got a quick question because I want to skip all the way to overtime because a lot of people have been questioning this about the Boston Celtics. Now, Mazzulla had 2 timeouts with 14 seconds left after James Harden made the 3, right? In your opinion, do you feel like he I think his name was Mazzulla, if I said it correctly. Do y'all feel like he should have called the timeout there, or he was just living in the moment of, okay, it's 14 seconds. I got Jason Tatum on the floor. I got Jaylen Brown on the floor. I got Marcus Smart that can make some shots if it's needed. Do you think the timeout should have been called there?
I mean,
definitely.
I can live without the timeout because I mean, when you call a timeout, you get the opportunity to set a play or whatever, but you also give the defense opportunity to make a sub, set a play. You know what I mean? Set their defense and stuff like that. So it's like it's best. It can be better sometimes to just get it inbounded in the flow of the moment. If you practice that, then it's like it becomes second nature. It seems like they practice that more than anything, more than just like late game situation. This is what we're going to 1-4 flat, something, bring a screen high, and let's just go to work. Like they only needed 1. They didn't need 2, or they didn't need a 3 or anything like that to draw up. So it's like, and in Philly's defense, you have a few people that you can target on the court that you don't necessarily want subbed out of the game. You don't want Harden subbed out of the game if they call a timeout. You really don't want Tobias subbed out of the game if they call a timeout, because they both can be cooked or whatever. So it's like, if you can get them to one of those two into the action, then let's just roll with it and go. Especially if you got Jaylen Brown and JT, is like pick one and just go with it. But I can see where the timeout could have maybe helped, but I don't think it would have guaranteed him a bucket or anything. It would have just gave him a little bit more time to actually draw up something. But
yeah,
that gives the defense the opportunity too.
I definitely like to add on that. So I think that's exactly why they didn't call the timeout. They wanted a matchup. They got the matchup, but unfortunately, Tatum did not finish. He passed back out, and that's what led to in my opinion, it was a bad shot. High percentage for the game. Brown was making him in the game, but that is not a high percentage shot for him.
Right.
And then especially you're right. They only needed 1 point.
See, on the play, they actually he got Brogdon. He initially has Brogdon on him, and he brings Tobias's man into the play to get the switch. He gets the switch, but then he dribbles, and then Brogdon man comes back to set the screen. Now you have another better defender on the same defender that you had on you initially. Now you're trying to rework, and then you just drive and then try to kick it out. It's like it's too much. Just get the switch that you want. You just cooked Tobias from the right to left cross straight to the lane. Do it again, or just set him up. Do it again. It's 1-4 flat. You don't need to bring another player into the play if you already have the matchup that you want. Once you get the switch, just go. I think it was just too much posturing and too much thinking that they had more time than they actually did.
It's just too much thinking. Too much thinking, period. Like that's why he didn't call the timeout, because he wanted them to play. He was like, go, speed it up.
He did it twice.
Yeah, and
he could have called it twice. He just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did have 2 timeouts with the 14 seconds left. And I saw this on my guy, the Sports Judge. Shout out to my boy Jonathan over at the Sports Judge. He said that why they don't go to Jaylen Brown in those critical moments where he plays so well during the game. I understand Tatum is the star. He's the front runner of the stars, and he's supposed to be Batman. And I guess Jaylen Brown's supposed to be Robin, but sometimes that reverse on some games, like we seen in game 2, where it was more of Jaylen Brown than it was Tatum. Then sometimes it's both of them. Then sometimes it's not. Then it's one of them. But I feel like the last 2 games for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown has been that guy. Michael Brogdon has been that guy. Tatum had a great game yesterday. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not. But I just feel like in some critical situations, they stray away from Jaylen Brown, knowing that he's a good playmaker off the ball and when he has the ball in his hands. So I'm kind of confused. Okay, yeah, you want to go to Tatum in that moment. But for Marcus Smart to get the last shot, I wouldn't trust Marcus Smart getting the last shot. I understand he was wide open. He was there. But I think for me, they wasted too much time getting a shot up. 14 seconds is long enough for you to get a shot up. You shouldn't have to go to Marcus Smart all the way across the court to try to get up as fast as ever. So that's just my opinion on it. I think a timeout should have been called because defensively, as a 76ers fan, they wasn't stopping Jason Tatum. Not in that fourth quarter.
They weren't stopping him with or without a timeout.
They wasn't stopping him in overtime either.
The timeout,
no matter what defensive
Melton
set the 76ers had, even though I'm a Sixers fan, I'm going to be realistic. No matter what defensive set they had.
It wasn't no stopping them.
It wasn't no stopping them. So Mazzulla could have called one timeout, and the Sixers have no timeouts left in overtime. So you got that advantage. So you could have just took the timeout, set up a good play, because you know you could do the pick and roll with Al Horford. He can set the 3 and make that. So you have options on both.
I don't think you really want to bring Al Horford into the play. That's not who you really want to bring. You can set up, but you don't want to bring his man into the play because Embiid he's a solid defender. He's not like a joker who we can get you later that can barely show on the screen and you just drag him out and then he just gets cooked. You know what I mean? But Embiid is. I think the timeout would have had them be able to set their ultimate defensive lineup. They probably take Harden out. Honestly, they probably take Tobias out. You bring DeAnthony Melton in. If PJ wasn't already in, you keep him in the game. You got a few other guys on the bench. Jaden McDaniels, if you want to put him in the game real quick for defensive purposes. There's a lot of ways that they could have combated whatever they wanted to do. I think that, like I say, initially Tatum got what he wanted. It's just that they went back into reverse, and then he brings Brogdon back into the play. Now Brogdon is a solid defender, going to force him the way he wants to go. You know what I mean? Not Brogdon, but damn it, who was it?
Come on, Tucker, PJ Tucker.
No, I forgot who he had to switch with. I think it was Tucker. It was Tucker that showed on the switch. But then it's like, why did you bring his man back into it just to get the same play back? You could have just went with it. I think he just they wasted too much time initially. So it's like I don't think that the timeout could have helped, but it really wouldn't have made too much of a difference either way. I mean, you get a better play, but there's no guarantee you score.
So take the ball, say if they advance the ball, they at half court. Take that same play with 10 seconds. You don't think that's a bucket?
If he doesn't attack initially off the initial switch, no. If he does the same thing that he just did, then no. If they set up something where he can get a quick screen or something and get downhill, then maybe. But it's all incumbent on him to actually initiate, get into the flow, get into the play.
In the same token, like you're saying too, they didn't really need a 3 right there. So I don't even know.
It's like you go quick, get a 2, get it up real quick, just attack. Philly's defense outside of Embiid and Tucker is just. But like I say, calling a timeout, I mean, you give a chance for them to set their defense. Then you show your hand, whatever play you're going to do. Then they call another timeout.
I just feel like we don't have anybody that was going to stop Jaylen Brown. Or just not in that.
That's what I'm saying. I just felt like he was not considered in that last play because of what Tatum's capabilities. And I feel like sometimes, I would not shout out to B-Town Breakdown because he talks all Boston sports. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I would not be surprised by the end of the year Jaylen Brown won't be a Celtic. I'm just
that's clear. He clearly doesn't want to be a Celtic. And it's not even really the on court shit. It's really the off the court shit that's making him drive away from the Celtics because he's a lot more conscious of his environment and the stuff like that in the area. So it's like he's already made quotes pertaining to the Boston racism, if you so to speak, or just the improper treatment that he gets when they're not having a good game. So we all know the discourse around Boston teams in that manner. They can be a little bit. They're worse than Philly fans, really. The Philly fans are kind of objective. They don't care who you are. You feel me? So they're going to talk. They don't care who you are. If you white, black, Hispanic, Court Mars or whoever you got on the bench, it don't matter.
If you ain't playing right, we gonna call you out.
They're gonna call you out. But Boston fans
for me lately. If you ain't done nothing for me lately,
that's the Philly mentality. That's the Philly mentality. Unfortunately,
the legendary Bill Russell. They tried to burn that man's house down.
Yeah, Philly fans. They snowball. They threw snowballs at Santa Claus. So there's no love lost for anybody.
Don't forget
in Philadelphia, we living here. I see it all the time. So I mean, what you supposed to do? I can't even have any excuses for it because it actually happens. So.
Yeah, like you say, I think that their team is just tendencies. Honestly, like Tatum is the guy. That's who they run a lot of the late game shit through. So it's like they fall back on what they're used to. Honestly, I think if they had called time out, the play would have been drawn for Tatum anyway.
Yeah, I don't feel like Tatum is the guy on that team. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like Jaylen Brown's the guy, and they're trying to deny it because Tatum has the image of the star. Like, the commercials but just like you said,
he averaged 30 in a regular season. Of course, that makes sense.
But last 10 seconds of the game, you had to put the ball in Jaylen Brown's hands. He scored the first 6 buckets for them. Nobody hit a shot. I don't think. What he scored the first 6 buckets? Tatum was
he's reliable when nobody could get a bucket.
Yeah,
he's very reliable when nobody could get a bucket.
I also think it's too because he's usually facing a lesser defender. Honestly, the matchup kind of dictates that sometimes he should get the ball, but I think that sometimes his go-to move or the things that he tried to do is a little bit more simpler than Tatum. Tatum has a lot more a wider range of repertoire of moves to go to. I think
he got a special push off for you.
I mean, he make it look good. He make it look real good. They ain't called the shit. I'm looking like, oh my god, he just pushed him to the fucking third row. Maxey wasn't square, but it's like, bro, that was clearly a push off. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, that push off. Well, I think that was in the fourth quarter before they went into overtime. That Tatum push off when the ref's sitting right there.
Yeah, that's good.
That's nasty work.
That's nasty work.
It's right there. So I was really confused. Really confused on how they did not make that call. But hey, Sixers end up winning the game, 117, 116. And I'm gonna be honest, as a Sixers fan, Doc Rivers, you got to get out this 2-man play or get out this 1-4 offense. You have to, because understand James Harden can be a playmaker, but the last 2 games he didn't play well. And you want to play this 2-man game with your MVP. I get it. But you have Tobias Harris just sitting there being a spot shooter. Tyrese Maxey sitting there being a spot shooter, which he's not. Those 2 are not spot shooters. They just don't sit on the 3-pointer. Understand PJ Tucker because PJ Tucker can't shoot. We all know that.
I mean, he can shoot in the corner. That's what he does. He has one of the highest percentages in corner shots. That's what he does.
I'm saying to you, when Tobias Harris is in the game with that second unit, he's better in the second unit than he is with the first unit. Because when you play that 2-ball game with Embiid and Harden, everybody else just waiting around just to see what they're going to do next. There's no movement. There's no cut to the basket. There's no drop to the basket, kick out. It was none of that. It's too predictable and it's too complacent, and they look stagnant. And that's why they struggled in this game. As a Sixers fan.
They get too comfortable. They're comfortable in it. Right. Tobias, Jesus.
Tobias Harris.
He's having a tough series. He is. He's having a tough series.
He shoots 62% without dribbling. When he takes 7 or more dribbles, he shoots 46%. It drops.
Yeah, he's not a creator. He's not a creator. He's not somebody you really want to run offense through. He's the finisher to the play. So if he's willing to cut, which it doesn't seem like he's willing to do that much, no matter what Doc says, if you're on the court, you control your own domain. He can cut to the basket when they run 1-4, when they run 1-5.
We gotta say that for Maxey too. Then, if that's the case, we gotta say that for Maxey because they all at the 3-point line.
I like Maxey at the 3-point line, so to speak, because he can attack and close out a lot better than what Tobias can. He can attack and close out, then create, reset if he needs to. Tobias, that's not really his game. So it's like.
They're scared of Maxey. You're scared of Maxey. I don't care what any defense.
Yeah.
You get to the 3-point line.
He's too fast.
You are scared. You cannot get up on him. You can't.
He's too fast.
Line.
So it's like, and you can't leave him out there for the shot.
He's going to drive on you. And either way, he's going to go past you or he's going to get the bucket. And that's the separation he causes.
Tobias, he shows his tendencies. He shows his hand.
I just feel like in that first half, if you look at the first half of that game 4. When he backed down on Derek White, that's the matchup Tobias Harris needs to put him in the post against a smaller guard and have him bully. You've seen it in the first 5 minutes of the game. He was in a post against Derek White. And he was able to score the way he was able to score because Derek White is not stronger or taller than Tobias Harris. I think when you see that matchup, you have to go after that.
He has to go after it. His mentality is not. He doesn't have. If he had PJ Tucker's mentality, he would be the greatest player on the team. He's not a dog. That's the problem. He's not going to the timeout. Give me the ball. He's not yelling. Give me the ball.
I bet any amount of money if he goes to another team, that dog will come out of him. Because
he was in Orlando. The dog didn't come out of him.
76ers, and I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody that leaves the Philadelphia 76ers and goes somewhere else, they play better.
He was there before Harden. He was there before Harden got there. He was there before Harden got there. He was the man before Embiid even became a player. Embiid was hurt. Ben Simmons was hurt. He was the guy there. He didn't show it. That's why he brought those people in.
The impact of James Harden, of him playing ISO with the 2-man ball with Embiid.
But James Harden just got there.
When Harden got there, the role changed. The role changed for everybody when Harden got there.
What was Tobias doing before Harden got there? The years before Harden got there.
He's averaging now.
Not that much.
Yes,
maybe a point. No.
Yes, he was. But that year after Jimmy Butler left, he was averaging 17. But after Jimmy Butler left, he was averaging 17 to 20 points a game. Damn near.
The last time he averaged 20 was when he was with the Clippers. He's averaged 18, 19, 17, and 14 now. He averaged 17 last year.
But that's still not bad. That's still not bad.
It's not bad.
When James Harden comes in, it's for me. I see it all the time. When James Harden comes in, he slows down the pace of the game. We are the slowest basketball team in the playoffs, in my opinion. We are the slowest team in the playoffs. When we don't get nothing in transition, we don't get when James Harden, he just brings it up. He just takes his time. Oh, cool. It's a 3-on-2. I'm gonna take my time. On a 3-on-2, that's a fast break. As me being a former coach and being a former player, if I got two defenses in transit, 2 defensive players in transition, and I got 3 players out there, I'm sorry. I'm running the fast break. I'm getting the
This is the new NBA. I'm not gonna hold it. I can't hold that against him because in this new NBA, which has been going on for about the past 5-10 years, most teams when they get out in transition, they're looking for the 3. Nobody's diving to the hoop. Nobody's taking a full-on sprint to the hoop. Who you want to do that, PJ? No, PJ ain't running the wing. That's not his game. Tobias isn't running the wing. Tobias isn't running the ring. That's what I'm saying. Like you have your initiator, the one that's bringing the ball up.
And I get it, but
who's filling the lane?
Game 1, we got out in transition. That's how we were able to beat Boston. We got out in transition after the rebound.
Y'all beat Boston because James Harden turned back the clock and started cooking. That's why he was cooking his individual defender. The 2 games after,
listen, the only way
2 games after they threw Jaylen Brown on him, and it was a wrap. He wrapped it up.
I think Boston's going to win the series because I don't think the only way for us to beat Boston, because we got to go into the next series. The only way we're going to have to beat Boston if Harden scores 40 or more. If we don't see that, he's going to have a drop off in game 5. I'm telling you that right now. He's not going to have the same 40 plus games that he had in game 1 and game 4.
I think I'll get you later. You have a player that's You have a player that's getting $30+ million. If he can't get you more than 9 points and 7 points in consecutive games, that's a problem. That's why you're losing. That's the issue. You have somebody that's making top 15, top 10 money, but he's giving you mid 30s production. He's not doing anything. He's not being aggressive. A lot of
people in this team not doing nothing. I think
nobody's getting paid what he's getting paid.
Is terrible. I don't like our bench. DeAnthony Melton is the best person on our bench. And Paul Reed, them two are the best. Niang, not really a big fan of Niang. Like, I'm not Jalen McDaniels trash. Get him off the team. You don't play Daniel at all.
He doesn't get time. McDaniels is cool.
Jalen McDaniels got time. He got minutes in those first 3 games. It did nothing.
Did he?
Nothing.
What minutes did he get? Let me check. I gotta check his minutes per game.
Got a couple minutes.
He did nothing.
I don't think he got that many.
He only made like 1 3 from what I've saw in like game 4. But he gets minutes.
I want to see what his minutes been lately. Because I don't think his minutes been that high.
He's a part of the rotation. He's a part of that rotation. But
I see the Sixers winning. Not James Harden doesn't have to have a 40-point night to win. What he has to do is he has to facilitate the correct way. Right, and the team has to play team ball. Tobias Harris, you're right. He's not the same as he used to be. He's not going to run and gun like he used to. But I tell you what, put him in the pick and roll. And especially when you have mismatches against, like you pointed out earlier, Devin White. They can pick on him. Marcus Smart, you can pick on him. These are guys that Tobias Harris can literally back down, drop shot, done. And he's going to hit 8 or 10. On a regular basis.
Yes, he's going to hit 8 to 10. I agree.
That's his shot. So if Harden comes correct, get Maxey running and gunning. Let him catch, let him run through the back. Just keep him on his motor. It seems like he runs a freaking 4.240. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy has got wheels. Use him. Because every time you go to pass to Maxey, everybody's attention is going to go there. What happens? Bam, I'm open for the 3-pointer.
Yes.
You run the pick and roll with him.
With that speed,
he comes up 9 times out of 10. They got PJ Tucker sitting in the corner wide open. They got Maxey sitting out wide open because everybody's worried about him beating Harden coming into the paint. And you notice that. Like I watched a couple. We rewatched the game, and you notice every time they run the pick and roll towards the center of the paint, everybody's eyes are on Harden and Embiid to see what they're gonna do. So if instead of just trying to kick it back to each other, which they also they had over 3 turnovers in the paint off of bad passes.
Yeah, they did.
That eliminates that. If no good pass in the middle, kick it out. Kick it out. 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to be open. I feel is how they beat the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, Harden can't have a game 2 or game 3 when it comes to turnovers because you see turnovers where he was trying to facilitate. It looked like he was trying to pass it at the last minute, and he had a lot of turnovers in game 3. So
thinking too much. It's the same thing.
He was trying to rebound from game 2. That's what the problem was. He was trying to rebound. He was trying to show that game 2 wasn't a fluke. But again, I don't think we have to give the Boston Celtics defense a lot of credit. They were top 5 defensive team. They have multiple players on the perimeter that can switch. Al Horford, even though he may be old man Horford, he's still showing that he can play defense. He can switch. He knows what to do. He's not stupid on defense. So that's the main thing with him. You got Robert Williams come in. You have multiple people that defend. Derek White may be the least defensive guy on the team, and he's still a solid defender for what it's worth. He's not like embarrassing defensively on the perimeter. Like he can hold his own, and he's legit 6'4", 6'5", so he's not like You know what I mean? Not going to completely bully him. So it's like, I think it just their defense is showing what it's worth. Like you made that one switch and put Jalen on Harden, and it kind of like stole those 2 games in the middle. But I think late game execution is what cost Boston this game, because in reality they should be up 3-1.
Boston
That's just a fact.
loses a lot of their games
Now,
in the last
before we get into the next game, I got a quick question. If you think Udoka was still the coach of the Boston Celtics, would they be up 3-1 right now?
No.
I do. I
No.
think maybe
3-1. It might have been over by now. It might have been over.
Yeah.
It might have been over by now.
You really think they would have swept the 76ers? Udoka as coach?
Embiid missing the first game. I don't think he would have waited to put Jalen on Harden. Harden had 15, 20 in the first half. Jalen would have been on his ass the second half. He would have been on the second half. They would have won that first game. He wouldn't have had 40. He would have made that switch real quick. Joe Mazzulla left. Who was it? Brogdon and Derek White and all these other smaller guards to try to defend Harden, and he kept cooking them while Jaylen Brown is hiding in the court and guarding PJ or guarding DeAnthony Melton. Like, that doesn't make sense. You have JT, put JT on him. But Jalen is not going to go for all the silly step back shit. He's staying home. He's staying solid. You're not going to bully through him. He's a smart guy. Like, just regularly IQ basketball wise is high as shit. So it's like, I think that, you feel me? Like you say, Ime would have made adjustments way quicker in that game 1. It might have been over by now, honestly. It might have been over. Maybe you can't stop him from getting 40. Maybe we would have had 30, and that would have won you the game.
All right, so let's get that. James Harden. That was another thing when James Harden made the 3. I don't understand you. I understand you want to double team Embiid on that possession. But to leave Harden open like that was kind of like a mishap.
He said that was definitely his fault. That's
a schematic error. Like, you don't double team from the same side as the coach. You just don't do that. Not on the same side of the court. You just one pass away in the corner. That's you just don't do that. That's just not what you do. That's too easy. Embiid is a willing passer, and he's a good enough passer to see that coming. Oh, double team right here is wide open. You leaving the second best player on the team wide open. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That was a schematic error by Jalen.
So let's get it to the West Coast now, where the Denver Nuggets lost back-to-back games to the Phoenix Suns, 129-124 last night. Devin Booker is Devin Booker, man. Devin Booker is Devin cooking. Forget that. Devin Cooker. That's what I'm gonna call him. Devin
I think
Cooker,
a lot of people forgot who he was.
He's been cooking his whole series. The man.
You think they forgot who Devin Booker was? Devin Booker was cooking all year.
I'm saying his talent wise, like when KD got there, I just think everybody just forgot. Like, he's the guy on that team. With KD getting there, it's like, oh, KD, but people just forgot who Devin Booker was. I feel like people forgot.
But I respect Kevin Durant though, because Kevin Durant came there, and he knew like, listen, this is your team, Devin Booker.
Yeah,
you going to do this. You going to do.
He got hurt too.
Kevin Durant still felt like he was getting accumulated to the team and getting the chemistry to gelling together, and it's starting to come together as you see it on the floor.
He's going to playing more playoff games than regular season games.
Right. So I just feel like him being on the floor more with Devin Booker, getting to understanding what he does and how Kevin Durant plays, it's starting to come around a little bit better. And people might say this, people might disagree with me with this, but is it me that they're more fast paced with Cameron Payne is in the game than Chris Paul? If everybody's not remembering that,
they're gonna run it. The thing is, Denver's defense is susceptible to that because Joker doesn't get back. They don't have fast, speedy guards. So if you put somebody at the guard position that's just willing to just push it, running down their back as they're backtracking on defense, you can get free layups anyway. You're going to get free layups in the half court setting anyway if you really play it right. Because at the end of the day, like I was alluding to, the Nuggets' problem with guarding this team is that as long as the Suns don't settle, they can get whatever the hell they want. They don't really have people on the perimeter outside of Aaron Gordon and this KD matchup that's been kind of working, but they don't have anybody on the perimeter to stop Devin Booker. They don't have anybody at the rim to deter him from going to the rim. So it's like it's a free lane. They bring Joker into the play. I try not to harp on it too much because it makes it seem like a hater, but you needed 50 from Joker because he's getting cooked on defense. We're trying to hide him. He can't recover on no plays. He can't show and recover fast enough. We try to hide him on the baseline and let our wings swing and try to, close out to the corner shit. But the Suns have religiously since game 2, they have put Joker into action and just attack. Whatever happens off of that, that's what they're doing. They're not trying to attack nobody else but him. They're trying to attack the rotations and saying, you're not going to be able to rotate fast enough trying to hide this guy. He's trying to show out too high on screens. That gets him cooked. If he plays a drop coverage, that feeds right into their game of mid-range shooting. So it's like their defense.
Even with Booker having 36 and 12 assists and 6 boards, Kevin Durant had 36, 11 boards and 6 assists. So the ball was being passed around. Even with Landry Shamet stepping up with 1 off the bench.
You swing.
Those are the 3 guys who got over double points. Over double-digit points. Nobody else got over double-digit points.
Nope. Nobody had
Booker and Durant.
And it's crazy because Denver, all 5 starters was in double figures and still lost.
So it's the defense. It's the defense.
So DeAndre, you just missed it.
If you can't stop Booker and you can't stop Durant, you're not going to stop the Suns.
Yeah, no.
Because they're going to continue to score. And they don't need anybody else to score, as you can see. Like, I mean, Shamet's 19 points. You spread that out around a couple more guys. I mean, everybody, you've got 4 or 5 guys in double digits.
Yeah.
And it can spread out either way. So without the Nuggets playing defense, I don't see them winning this series. I just don't. No. Especially now they're running too gelled. You got Durant. Durant is going to purposely get you over 30 points. And Booker's just looking to outscore him.
And I think Durant figured out Denver's defense, in my opinion, because if you look at it from game 3, Kevin Durant was going to the basket instead of the first 2 games. He was just shooting mid-rangers and shooting threes. He wasn't really driving to the basket that much in the first 2 games. Yeah. Game 3, when he decided to start driving to the basket and start getting to the foul line and getting them in ones, that's where it started to open up as a shooter.
Gordon has been a tough matchup.
So he had to play inside out, which we all know that Durant loves to shoot the basketball. We all know he's thin, he's tall, but he's like 7'6" wingspan of that nature. But we all know he's thin. We know he ain't gonna drop to the basket and take a real hard foul. We just know that. But he noticed in this game that there was expecting him to shoot the 3 in that 8-foot or 15-footer. They was waiting
on the closeout. All you do is attack the closeout. You wait for Devin Booker to break down the defense off the Joker screen and roll. You just attack the defense off the closeout. Because once you attack and he's too slow to recover, there's nobody at the rim to protect.
Right.
There's nobody at the rim to protect. And even Aaron Gordon, as good as he's been playing defensively, he can't make up for it trying to help the helper and then still get back to his man because you're helping off of Kevin Durant. So it's like, I can't leave but so fucking far. And I'm really the only shot blocker on the court. You feel me? At any given moment, I'm the only shot blocker legitimately on the court.
Give up for 3. Which one you want to give up?
Yeah. Let me respond to Dante. Y'all didn't lose by 1. Y'all lost 129-124. So that's not 1 point. Number 1. Number 2, the Suns has figured out how to beat Denver. They figured it out. You just gotta run up and down the floor on them because Jokic ain't gonna get back. So technically, you're playing 4-on-5 in transition. Basically, Denver. Don't get me wrong. Denver is a good basketball team. They're a good basketball team. That's why they're number 1 seed in the West. Understanding that, but the more you play a team, the more you figure them out, and you figure out the pick and roll with Jokic and Murray. Yes, Jokic had 53, but still lost. So what does that come down to? It comes down to you defensively on the reason why you're lost. Because Booker is cooking y'all, Durant is cooking y'all, and whoever's coming off the bench is getting double figures. No matter if it's Shamet, no matter if it's whoever's coming off that bench, they find a way to score.
He had 4 rebounds, 1 block shot, and his plus minus was only 2. So he's not overly dominating the game with the 50 points. For him to have 50 points, his plus minus should have been at least 10, 15, 20. Somewhere in that range. For it to only be 2 shows that even though he's scoring, when it gets down on the other end, he's allowing or he's being put into the action that is just giving it right back up. You're not gaining anything from the 50. You needed the 50 because nobody else is doing anything. He's still trying to facilitate and get everybody else involved, but a lot of their role players outside of Joker and Murray, a lot of these guys are just finishers. They're not really creators. They're not really people that you put the ball in their hands and tell them to go. They have Reggie Jackson on the bench. Let's see if they play him. I doubt it.
They not
another person that another person that can create off the bounce. They don't have any people. Michael Porter is trying to get into that mode, but he's just not there yet. He's more of just a catch and shoot guy. He's not even really a post up guy yet. So they don't really have too many options. They're running a lot of off ball, a lot of screen shit, a lot of like misdirection, backdoor, hoping you're not paying attention or focusing too much on Joker. They don't have really too many traditional give me the ball, let me go cook type players. And against the Suns, you should definitely be able to do that. They don't have any wing defenders. They got a Kogi. Who else they put? Like they don't have many people that can really defend on the perimeter.
True.
But they're looking good against this team because if you key in on Murray and key in on Joker, there isn't really anybody else that can create for the team.
I got to give a shout out to the one boy Landale, the big guy from the Phoenix Suns. He is a different guy. He is a different guy with this team when he's in the game. I've noticed that. He doesn't back down from Jokic at all.
No.
He doesn't fear nobody on the Denver
aggressive.
Nuggets.
That's the thing.
He's aggressive. That he comes off the bench with DeAndre Ayton. You need to throw some goddamn balls.
Right. He's aggressive. He's an Aussie.
Man, he's
an Aussie.
Hard hat. He's coming to work. You give him 8 minutes or 18 minutes. He's going to give you every single ounce of himself on the defense end, offensive end. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get. He don't care. He'll get a foul, but it's a good foul. You know, he's going to guard anybody that comes near the paint. He's not going to give you an uncontested shot. It don't matter if you're 18 feet away. He's going to dive up and put them arms up. And those are the kind of guys I love to see come off the bench because eventually we won't be coming off the bench, especially the way Aiden's playing. Aiden can't even average you a double-double through the playoffs. These are some of the most important games this man might ever play. And
his motor is trash. He has the worst motor. He has one of the worst motors in the league.
I mean,
what do y'all feel like Aiden's problem is?
His motor. He doesn't go hard all the time. Pause. He just doesn't. He doesn't put forth maximum effort all the time. That's his problem.
That's true because I know that Ayton could run the floor. He could run the floor. He could outrun Jokic in transition.
He's probably the most in shape person in the game.
I think my problem with him is
Tucker's
for me.
motor.
I'm gonna be honest. I think DeAndre Ayton is intimidated of Jokic. He's intimidated. He's scared of Jokic, in my opinion. Definitely. I'm sorry to say.
I think he's scared to get embarrassed more so. He's trying to stay fundamental, but he's not being overly aggressive, taking chances, or even attacking him in the sense that, like I say, he has the same issue that kind of Tobias has. He doesn't have a dog in him. He's not going in the timeout saying, give me the goddamn ball. Yeah. He's not saying it. He's rolling hard as shit to the rim, and he ain't getting the ball. He's rolling arms up, running free. He just ain't getting the ball, but he ain't even saying shit about it probably. He's counting his money and then going home. That's what he does. Aiden's been this way since he came in the league.
So with the Phoenix Suns shooting 56% from the field and 44% from the three-point line, that's the key to success there.
Yeah.
They shot very good from the field and from the three-point line, even though Denver shot 56 from the field as well, but there was 31% from the three-point line.
It's the attempts. They need to get the 3 attempts up because their 3 attempts have been low for the season. They're more so a mid-range team. If they shoot the 3, because they have 3-point shooters and they can hit them at a consistent rate, I think that they can easily walk through the rest of this series, honestly. Because
they were 7 of 22 in that game, 7 of 22 overall in that game.
Just shoot them. They don't shoot enough during the year.
Honestly, I think you know how you solve that problem? Put Jokic in the paint. Stop letting him facilitate and start from the 3-point line. Put him at the free throw line. Let him back down into the paint. And as soon as somebody comes to help, pass out.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna have to do it. And then bam, that's gonna give you more rebounds. It's gonna give you more offensive attempts. And then on defense, same thing. Stop letting him float around the sides now. Get him down in the paint, 1 foot in the paint, 1 foot in the box. Get him down there, get him ready.
You got to get creative with the defense because if they see that you're going to allow them to bring them into the play, then they're just going to continuously just work off of that. That's what they do. That's what they're doing. Like literally every single play is he's going to be in the action because he can't recover fast enough. He can't recover fast enough if he shows, and if he drops, he's not contesting enough to deter the mid range or the layup. You really don't want him to drop because it's a free layup. You don't want him to hedge either because it's a free layup.
Yeah,
it's a free. Who was on the back end to protect the block shot?
Absolutely.
They're keeping KD on the perimeter, so Gordon is stretched out. There's nobody else on the back line to block a shot. Porter isn't blocking anybody's shot. Bruce Brown isn't blocking anybody's shot. And even is Jamal Murray.
Bruce Brown gets on my nerves as a player. He just gets on my nerves.
Bruce.
I like Bruce.
He gets on my nerves as a player.
I like Bruce.
He gets on my nerves to a point where, oh my God. Hey Keith, what's going on, brother? He's a Ravens fan. I totally forgot my brother's a Ravens fan. Totally forgot.
Big Ravens. We know that.
Yeah.
Hey, is everybody Ravens on this panel? What is going on? Damn.
Ravens all day.
Damn.
Ravens all day, man.
Oh man.
We talk about the Ravens another day.
Let me put my hat down then because yeah, because I feel like I'm getting ambushed by Ravens fans on this panel. Listen.
Hey man, listen. Keep your hat nice and secure because y'all ain't doing too much this year.
Listen, we're gonna talk about it. About it.
Right. Okay.
But we're gonna get into the predictions tonight for Knicks, Heat, Warriors, Lakers. Oh, see, Keith, here you go with the Super Bowl bound stuff. Here you go. But we're gonna get into that. No, it's behind the TV.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with Denver and their defense, and I think their offense. I think Phoenix is they've resided in the fact that Joker is going to kill. So it's like if anybody else doesn't kill, we could contain Murray a little bit, then we'll be fine because they can't really. Joker is not going to beat Booker and KD. He can't outscore both of them at the same time. He just can't. He tried last night, but he can't. It wasn't enough. He needed 60.
So do you feel like? Do you think this? We already knew the Sixers got one game in Boston. Yeah. Do you feel like the Suns can get a game in Denver? At least one game in Denver.
That's tough. Their role players rise up when they get home. They play probably the most like night and day when they get home, as far as their role players are concerned. Honestly,
but I gotta say this though. Those first two games, Cameron Payne didn't play.
He didn't.
So let's see what the Suns can do.
Neither did Ross or TJ Warren.
Or TJ Warren or Terrence Paul. So it's gonna be tough to see.
Ross is some timely threes. That's all you need. All you need is timely scoring because they had, like I said, they have more people on the bench that can go get a bucket than Denver has on their bench that can actually go get a bucket on their own. Their team offense, their flow offense, but if the person that's the initiator isn't in the game, when Murray's trying to initiate, he's more of a scoring guard. He's initiating out of necessity. It's not because that's what he's naturally trying to do. He's trying to score.
Facts. So
we'll see.
7:30 on TNT. The Heat has the series 2-1. You take this game and why? Do the Knicks tie it up? Or do the Heat take a 3-1 lead?
Knicks tie it up.
That's tough.
Heat take it.
I think the Heat are going to take it.
I just don't see it, man. Unless Julius Randle comes to play, like he comes to play, you get some solid minutes out of Robinson. Like you get these guys rolling.
He's become practically unplayable. That's the problem. And Robinson has become almost unplayable, but they need him because the Randle Adebayo matchup is not going the way that the Knicks think that it should go and that it should go. He should be able to get at least 20 on him, but he can't. Adebayo is solid. He's a solid defender, and he's not going for the bullshit. He can't play the bully ball on him. The bully ball not going to work. And like I say, Mitchell has become almost unplayable.
I am actually taking Miami to win this game tonight. I just think New York. I think New York ran out of gas. I think the matchups against Miami is not really suitable for New York. Because you're going to get an RJ Barrett that's good in the first half, but slumps in the second half. And he's been doing that all playoffs. From the first round to this round. You see RJ Barrett, he can be 8 for 8 in the first half and be good. And then he goes nowhere in that second half. But the matchup, whoever's on Jimmy Butler, I think that matchup is a mismatch no matter who it is at this point. Even with a bad ankle, that man still had 25, 27 with a bad ankle?
Who guarding him?
Shout out to Caleb Martin. Shout out to Gabe Vincent. These guys, they not really notable guys like you expect from like a Miami Heat team, but
they got chips on their shoulders.
Had these guys playing good basketball.
Yeah, key minutes, key points, taking key shots.
That's it.
The whole thing is nobody knows these guys. These guys aren't household names. But by the end of this year, I guarantee a bunch of more people know who they are, and they're gonna have respect.
And I have to say this too about this game. I think this series could have been over in 4 games if they would have won without Jimmy Butler. Even though that was a close game in New York and they lost that game.
And they should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
Because
that whole shot clock violation with Gabe Vincent shots hit the rim, and they said it was a shot clock violation. I think that would have changed the aspect of the game. But I feel like if Jimmy Butler played in that game too, this would have been a sweep.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It probably would have been a sweep.
It probably would have been a sweep. But I do feel like Miami could get 2 more games if they keep playing the way they play, even though with their Bam Adebayo being the dog that he is. He's really a power forward, but he's playing a 5. So Julius Randle he's all right, but I think he relies too much on a 3. I remember Julius Randle being that guy, even when he was with the Lakers and even when he was with New Orleans, he was a dog down at the block. Bro. Now he's relying too much on 3s. He used to be very aggressive. I used to like his play. He always gave 110%. But now with this New York team, he relies on the 3 a little bit too much.
They have made him, with the addition of Brunson, they just took him off the ball more. That's the problem. I think not necessarily the problem, but it's like his aggressiveness has been curtailed a little bit because you have a more floor general now. So it's like he needs to just get back into being aggressive and just attacking. Like you say, but the bully ball game is not going to work against his team. Like not against Miami. It's the wrong team to try to bully. They have nothing but dogs on their team. Yeah. This is the wrong team to try to bully.
And I agree with that, but at the same time, we know that Julius Randle, it didn't matter who was big, who was a bully down there, no matter who it was. When you saw him in New Orleans and when you saw him in LA, he was a dog. He did not care how big you was.
It's NBA about matchups. This is a bad matchup for him.
Now this New York team, they have him making him be like a stretch 4 or stretch 5 sometimes and sit out on the 3-point line and have him dribble. No, if you put his back to the basket, he's going to make sure he gets a foul and make sure he's going to get some type of shot up.
That's what I see that Mitchell being in the court. Mitchell being on the court. The thing is, you have Brunson that wants to play below the free throw line. He really wants to post up and play. He's not a 3-point stretch the court type player. He wants to play downhill, play in the paint as well. You got him there. You got freaking Mitchell Robinson in the way. Where the hell is Julius Randle supposed to go? On which block is he supposed to post up on? If you got once they post up on one block,
right? Depending on where you put Robinson. If you put Robinson in the high pick and roll, you could put Julius Randle on the block.
See, if you got him in the high pick and roll, then you don't want him on the block because that's clogging up the lane. They're already sagging off of Mitchell Robinson. If you put Randle on the block as well, now you have 2 of the defensive bigs in the way. There's no rim to create. They need to run Randle more at the 5, but they're going to lose a lot as far as rim protection and rebounding and shit like that. Like. Which they do anyway, because Tibbs love. I don't know why
Mitchell Robinson is in the lineup. I know he gets good rebounds and stuff of that nature and plays okay defense when he can, but I don't understand why he's in the lineup in the first place. It reminds me of a big version of a PJ Tucker. Like he plays, but PJ Tucker plays better defense than Mitchell Robinson, in my opinion. But we all know, like
that's obvious.
We all know both of them can't score.
See, but PJ stays in his role, and PJ defensively is more versatile, more just more reliable because he's gonna get up in the best player's shorts. He's gonna play defense.
Got the heart of a freaking lion,
I have no PJ slander. No PJ slander from me
on the court.
PJ a dog. He don't have to shoot. He don't have to shoot a single shot.
He can't score when he does get his shot.
He don't shoot it though.
Make the shot. Fine, I'm fine with that
because he won't shoot the shit. He won't shoot the bullshit. He won't try to hijack the offense.
I'm not asking PJ Tucker for 20 points. I'm not asking. If you can make 2 or 3 or 4, 2 threes, give me 2 threes and play great defense, I am absolutely fine with that. I'm great with that.
So honestly, I think the only way Randle really gets the juice going and scores and has a great game and pulls the Knicks to the victory. I mean, he's got to be in the pick and roll. He's got to run cross court. He's got to move. He can no longer. He can't let JJ Barrett take all. I mean, RJ Barrett take all these. You know what I mean? Crazy mid-range shots, long-range shots. Yeah. He needs to be more dominant. He needs to go cross from whoever's on the other side. Give me the ball, put it down on the ground, get a good mid-range shot, get a high percentage shot, get in the paint, transition. Don't just stop and look at what's going on. Create, run straight to the rim. He's one of those guys.
Create more.
Who's the Heat do?
They have to create more.
Bam will foul him every single time if he runs straight to the rack. Oh, give me the ball. Takes the ball up. Bam's gonna foul.
Yeah.
Bam will have.
Yeah, if you put Bam in foul trouble, that forces to put in Cody Zeller, where Randall can kind of bully Cody Zeller in a little bit because Cody Zeller's a little slower. So I mean,
the foot speed, fundamentally sound though.
Yeah. He is fundamentally sound. Agreed.
Good on offense. He's just good.
Yeah, he's good. Cody Zeller has always been good. He's just been stuck in Charlotte forever. He's always been good. Cody Zeller he's always been solid. He's been solid his whole career.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mason Plumlee. They kind of like 1 and 180. They remind me of the same
my city like that, man. Y'all don't gotta do us like that. Y'all gotta do the whole.
And hey, man, Charlotte is what it is. You know, the Melo being hurt, the whole nine is just, you know.
Yeah, it just.
Then Bridges idiotic. It was lining up perfect. You get Bridges back this year, y'all was getting ready to run out and go, but you know he just can't keep his shit together. So that's that.
But I pose one question. Y'all do understand the Knicks they missed 32 out of the 43s they shot on Saturday. You think if they knock some of those down, they don't win?
They're not a good 3-point shooting team to begin with, though. And Miami is banking on that. Miami is patting the paint, and they're banking on these. They're patting the paint. They're banking on them shooting
for a hope and miracle. It's exactly that. It's a hope and a miracle. When you're shooting it because that's the play you're running. That's
different.
You know you're gonna get a good.
That's totally different.
You know exactly how you're gonna set this pick, how you're gonna come up, when exactly you need to hit. That's a different thing. When you're talking about trying to force 3-pointers, like the clock's
out of necessity from non-3-point shooters is a problem.
On these guys,
they don't really have any snipers on the team. Like who's the sniper on their team? Who's the 3-point specialist on their team?
I mean, I guess they would say Barrett. I want
to know why they don't play Evan Fournier enough.
Evan Fournier, he doesn't play defense. Anybody on Tibbs
shoot, right?
He
can shoot, right?
If Coach Tibbs is the coach, if you don't play defense, you're not going to get in the game. That's just point blank. He's shown it over his whole career. He just started to play rookie.
If you don't play defense, you won't get in the game. But at least on the opposite side, you got to score points. If you're getting outscored, then what's the defense you're playing if you keep getting outscored?
He's not an elite enough scorer to.
Josh Hart's definitely been solid. Josh Hart has been solid.
Josh Hart's been solid the whole. I mean, he's going to play. Josh Hart's going to play. He's going to play fundamental shit. He's not going to shoot. He's not going to hijack the offense, shoot dumb shots.
He rebounds the ball.
He's a mover. He's moved the ball. He keeps the play moving. That's what he's good at. Evan Fournier, unfortunately, like I said, he's not an elite, a super elite scorer to negate the fact that he's really bad on defense. And Tibbs can't hide him because Tibbs doesn't want to hide anybody. He wants everybody to play solid, straight up man-to-man type shit. He doesn't want to have to hide anybody. But you put Evan Fournier out there, and it's like, unless he's getting you 20, which he probably won't, it's like it negates the fact of putting him out there. Same thing with Duncan Robinson. That's why Duncan Robinson doesn't get on the court. He can shoot. He can really shoot.
He sit on the bench with a fat ass contract,
bro. And that was the thing I was gonna bring up. Is like these contracts, between him and Tobias, these people are getting paid millions of dollars and they're not doing anything. Their production is not matching the pay.
The difference is that I think Duncan Robinson is getting more than Tobias Harris just to sit on the bench, though, and not even be in a rotation. Now we see Tobias Harris at least playing in a game, trying to do something. But
I think Duncan's getting about like 19. I think he's getting about 19 million or some shit like that. He's getting something about like 19 million. So it's not exactly what I think. Is it about 19 or 20? Is it 20?
Is he getting 20 contract?
No. I know Tobias is about upwards to 30. Duncan Robinson is not getting that. He's not getting more than 30.
Like 19, 20. He's
getting about 19. Max Strus is who he is. Max Strus has replaced
give me
him.
that contract. I sit on the bench for that contract. I'll do it.
No doubt.
I'll sit on the bench. Miami, call me right now. But I'm taking Miami to win this game. Y'all all taking Miami to take this game?
I got the Knicks. I'll be the eyeball on this one.
You gonna take the Knicks?
I gotta take
the Knicks. About to show. They gotta show me something.
I've been talking about the Knicks all season, but to his point, if Randall doesn't come to play, they lose. Just point play period. If Randall doesn't come to play, they lose. Yeah.
RJ's not a 2. He's not a second level scorer. He's not a second level player that you're gonna, depend on every night. He needs to be more in the third role, which is natural. Yeah. Right. That's his more natural position. Randall has to cook, and if they don't come up with some creative plays to get him off of Adebayo, get Adebayo off of him, or get Adebayo in a trail technique where he's trying to recover off of a screen or something, then he's going to have a tough time scoring against him. It just is. Miami is a solid defensive team. They're going to be solid. They coach well. They're going to come to play. They got a video coordinator as their coach. He watches tape. That's all Eric's supposed to do. He watches tape and pick up on tendencies. So he knows what the hell is going on. Like, that's his forte. That's why they always very detail oriented, and they make very few mistakes defensively. They really do.
That's probably why they get better every game from watching so much film like that.
Exactly.
Let's get to the second game tonight. We got
my boys.
Game 4, if I'm not mistaken. Game 5.
Game 4.
It's game 4.
Still LA.
Lakers Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting series to me. It's very interesting. This series is going to be really back and forth. I don't see nobody winning back-to-back games in this series.
I can't
see. I'm just saying from what I've saw. Like we saw the Lakers take. I think the Lakers took the first game, if I'm not mistaken, and the Warriors
won game 1,
2.
Right, and then they turned around and got blown out.
3.
Right. We've shown that we can beat them at home. The difference between those games is that when they made the adjustment, we have a counter to that. Our defense is going to recover from a bad game. We had a bad shooting game 2, really. Defensively, we were there, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. We lost. The third game is the microcosm of the series. We play defense.
I just feel like with the Warriors, I feel like it's going to be a chess between these two coaches because they're all about adjustments for both teams. Kerr,
what adjustment can they make for AD?
Kerr made the adjustment to take out Looney.
Kerr shoots 43 pointers.
When he took Looney out and put JaMychal Green in, I think y'all didn't have no answer for that. Because
I think we had it. The answer for that is that we just had to readjust the matchups. You just had to put AD.
And that's what happened in game 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have the counter to anything they want to do. What is the counter to that? They don't have a counter. They make him bring another pick to put AD in it to keep him from being able to recover. But his help and recovery skills are just elite. It's just no other way to say it. He can help, and then he can recover and deter shots. So that really matters. And then you switch him off of Draymond to get him out of the pick and roll so he can stay more close to the baseline. You dare Jeff Green to fucking shoot. You get LeBron off of Jeff Green. You put LeBron into the action, and have freaking AD still sitting back in the paint waiting. Our guards are fighting over every screen. They're not really getting too many good looks other than when Rui or Troy Brown is trying to come off of a screen guarding Clay or somebody like that because they're a step too slow. Reeves and Dennis Schroeder and even D'Angelo have been fighting like dogs over screens, and now we showing AD on the screen. Like there's nothing you can do with that. You can't do anything if AD is going to be able to show and recover.
I just don't think the Warriors is going to have another bad shooting night like they did in last game. I don't think. I just don't think so. Because you have the 2 best backcourt shooters probably of all time.
When they're taking free shit, when they're taking free shots, I agree.
So when they're taking free shots, I agree. I just feel like I got the Warriors tying this series up, going back to Golden State. I just think this is one of the best series in the NBA playoffs. Just by star power, the history of the franchises, I don't see the Lakers going up 3-1 going back to Golden State. I just don't see that.
I think that
not with a defending champion team that lost games in the first round and lost games. If they even lost games,
it was against the Kings, though. That's not this. That is not the same as playing the Lakers.
I'm just saying from what I've seen. Yes, LeBron he had a good second half because he didn't play well in the first half of that game.
He didn't play well in the first quarter, but he didn't need to.
Everybody stepped up. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Kerr, as a coach, as a basketball coach, you always going to make an adjustment to an adjustment game by game. You're always going to do that. So Kerr's going to find his way to get his players open in different ways. Even though that what you saw in game 3, you might not see in game 4. It might be a different person that step up instead of Clay having an off night and somebody else step up. If you look at that second half, Wiggins didn't really touch the ball like that. And Wiggins is a guy that can score at
He's
will.
still trying to find his rhythm. He just started playing. He just came back.
In the last 3 games, Wiggins can score at will. And
he can't, though. But he can't, though.
Because how he dunked to an AD. We saw
that was off a rebound. That's off of a rebound, off of a recovery. That's not fundamental basketball. That's not something that's repeatable over a period of time. Wiggins is just trying to
score, yo.
Wiggins hasn't been a consistent scorer since he came back. Maybe last year. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about this year. Since he's came back, he's not been a consistent scorer.
He never left from last year. He always in double figures.
He didn't play the whole season. He hasn't played the whole season. He just came back. He just came back for the playoffs.
But usually
he played like the last 5 games.
And everybody on this panel can say, usually with that, if he didn't play barely of the season, he would come back rusty. If I'm not mistaken,
I don't like the hyperbole. I think that we stick to the facts and the schematic shit of the game. When you're watching the games, what's happening? If they run it, the Warriors want to run screens to get their guards open. We have guards that fight over screens, and we have a big that can show on the screen and recover.
Wiggins don't need screens.
Wiggins is not aggressive. They're not going to. That's not their offense, though. They're not going to completely deter from it.
It's not their offense, bro. And I agree with that. But at the same time, Kerr is going to make that adjustment. Like, okay, you're going to overplay Clay, and you're going to overplay Kerr, and you're going to leave Wiggins open, and Wiggins going to dog y'all out. I'm telling you,
Wiggins,
leave that man
but
open.
Wiggins, we have been leaving him open, and he has done what he has done. Nothing. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't really done anything. What is Wiggins' numbers in this series? What is his numbers?
In the win that they had when they won, he had 11
points. 15, 11, 16.
He's not doing much. That's not nothing. That's nothing. He's fifth. He's really about
nothing. He's not doing nothing because of the fact that
because the offense dictates him not to do anything.
But I feel like if you over pursue on Clay and over pursue on Steph, and
but we're not though.
Open
shots. They're not. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Let's get away from
the Lakers. They're going to give them open shots because they
want
to Andrew Wiggins. It's Andrew Wiggins.
That's what I'm saying. If you're watching the games, and if you're watching the game and just watching it, just watching it, the Lakers are staying home, and they're showing on the only person that's showing and leaving their man is AD. AD is showing on the screen, and he's recovering. Everybody else is staying home because they don't have to help off of anybody. Yeah. We have the ultimate eraser at the rim. They're not an attacking team.
You think that same strategy is going to work from game 3 to game 4?
I think the same strategy is going to work because they have the same players from game 4 to game 3 to game 4. They have the same personnel.
No adjustment.
I'm trying to figure out what adjustment can the Warriors make to combat the fact that AD can show on the screens when they're trying.
They can shoot a basketball better.
They can probably shoot it better. But
the Lakers get out in if the Warriors get out in transition,
how many in the first half?
If the Warriors can get rebounds and get out in transition, you might see a different scenario.
If they can get a rebound and get out in transition, they can't stop anybody. That's the problem. They're taking the ball out the net. They're not getting out in transition.
You're talking like
I'm talking like I watched.
Like your starting five is all star.
I'm talking like I watched the game, sir.
Reeves is not
I'm talking like I watched the games. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking like I watched. When you watch the game,
it's all on Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis plays well, then you guys win.
Yeah,
but if
that's
Anthony Davis doesn't play well in history,
Don't play like shit. Anthony Davis play like shit.
AD has objectively played 2 bad games this whole playoffs. He played the first game, the second.
What are we talking about?
No, because the 16. When you look at the graph, the 16-point game that he had against Memphis, he had the best defensive game of his whole entire life, and we shut him down and we won that game. So maybe the points wasn't high, but defensively he was
a Memphis team that don't have a true 5.
We played the Memphis
team with a broken John Morant.
Dude,
was number 2 seed.
Okay, listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said. They had a defensive player on their team. Who on the Golden State Warriors is a shot blocker? Who on the Golden State Warriors is a lockdown defender? Who is he? Name that person, please.
The Grizzlies only had one lockdown defender.
And Draymond gets
nobody outside of John Morant and Jackson.
How you gonna say a bunch of nobodies? How you gonna say a bunch of nobodies and they won multiple? They've shown for the past 2 years that they can win games without Ja. If you're telling me that Brandon Clark and Steven Adams are such world movers, then okay. Neither one of them are world movers.
Be honest with you, I think the Lakers won't win that series if Adams or Clark is playing. Let's talk about it.
You're delusional. Let's talk about it. Because let's talk about it. Steven Adams, slew-footed, gets beat on pick and roll. All you have to do is put him in pick and roll, which we do religiously. LeBron and AD pick and roll. Guard AD pick and roll.
They have a rim protector. They still have a rim protector in Clark.
And who? Are you crazy? What rim protector in Clark? Clark isn't the rim protector. It's Jared Jackson. That's why he won Defensive Player of the Year. He averaged about 4 or 5 blocks a game. He couldn't do shit with AD. AD was eating his lunch. AD was stealing his lunch. Give me that. Thank you. He was cooking him. He was killing him. If he's killing defensive, imagine what he's going to do against Lou.
Defensively, you had to go into a play-in to actually play in the tournament.
If you want to, let's talk about facts. I'll correct the confusion. Once we made the trade, we became the best defensive team. Once we made the trade since the trade deadline, we have won. We have had the best record since the trade deadline. We have been a completely different team when you add defenders.
Into the 6, you still cannot get into.
We were in the hole. Of
course, many teams that moved.
It was at the trade. It was at the trade deadline.
Moved up to get into the
play.
No, it wasn't. I digress.
Name the team. Don't digress. Be factual. Be realistic about what you're talking about. Who was the team that elevated themselves from the trade deadline from being outside the playoffs, 13th, to being into the playoffs in 7th? Who was the team that made that jump outside of the Lakers? There is no team. Every team.
Miami did.
Miami been treading water all year. What are you talking about?
Miami's the AC for a reason. Why do you think they had to be in the
Miami was what was their record? What was their record?
FC. What are you talking about?
And I just said that because they were treading water all year. That's why.
But they ain't had to do no trade deadlines. Who did they trade?
They just needed to get healthy. That's all it was. But we had a complete roster overhaul. This is not the same team that was before the trade deadline. When we had Russell Westbrook and we didn't have Rui. We didn't have Vanderbilt. We didn't have D'Lo. We didn't have Malik Beasley. We didn't have any of these players. We got rid of multiple people that don't play defense and can't score.
Malik Beasley can
go. Malik Beasley doesn't play anymore because he doesn't. Malik Beasley doesn't play. Malik Beasley doesn't play because he doesn't play defense. That's why he doesn't get on the court. But if we're talking about what's really been happening since the trade deadline, we have went from outside of the play-in to the 7th seed. That's on the cusp of making it. We were 5th seed 2 games before the playoffs started. We lost the game, and that's why we bumped down to the 7th seed. We would have been a 5th seed if you want to go back and really look at it. We would have been a 5th seed. Defensively, we have been the best defensive team. Facts since the trade deadline. We have won the most games and lost the least amount of games since the trade deadline. Facts.
I have the Warriors winning this game.
That's fine.
Going back to
I'm trying to figure out what's
I'm not going to be one of those fans that's going to underestimate the best shooters in the game. Sorry.
We're not underestimating, but we're talking about. We're talking about.
Underestimating
There is no underestimating.
Steph Curry because Steph Curry is better than every guard on the Lakers team right now.
You want to know? You want to know why we're not underestimating? You want to know why we're not underestimating? We're not underestimating them,
but it won't be a blowout.
We're not underestimating them because we're playing them. That's why we're not underestimating. We're playing good defense.
Tonight, I got the Warriors.
I doubt it. They don't play defense. They don't guard anybody.
I got a funny little stat for you guys. So after looking at AD stats over the last 5 games, the only thing that coincides with losses with KD besides his points is his fouls. When he gets two or more quick fouls in the first half of the game, you guys
hurts. That hurts.
You guys lose because it's his presence that you're missing, but it's also the points you're missing from him.
Right.
So if I'm like I say, Warriors, and I'm Steve Kerr, and I'm looking at film, that's where he's going to make the adjustment at.
How do you make
foul trouble? That's
how do you do
adjustment.
that? How do you do that? You
drive to the basket, you get him in foul trouble.
How can you drive again? How do you with whom? Drive to the basket
in front of him every single time. You have same thing that Marcus Smart did yesterday. How every time he was near the basket, somebody was driving in. He tries to slide in and stand there, take that charge.
Yeah. It's gimmicky. It's more gimmicky than actual schematic shit. They don't have anybody that's 6'10" on their team, fast foot enough that can contest. At the end of the day, Draymond is too small to guard him. He can play physical, he can get up in him, but he's too small to guard him on the backboard and on the post.
But he could definitely get him in foul trouble.
Yeah,
Any player can get a player in foul trouble, no matter how big they are. Any player can get in foul trouble. That's a fact.
That's depending on the refs because he's offensively not going to attack him and get him in foul trouble. He's looking for a defensive foul.
No.
He's looking for to get him.
Defense. On defense, they're going to literally look to try to foul Davis. They're going to drive the ball.
They're going to try to get him in foul trouble. That would be the adjustment.
Anywhere near
That's tough.
The 3-point line.
That's tough because
they're going to go at him. They're going to jump forward and get that foul. I promise you.
It's tough. It's tough. He's been disciplined all season. He's been disciplined all playoffs. I haven't seen the tape where he's been undisciplined on defense. You can say about his offensive.
Games that y'all lost. He just said it. The games
that y'all lost.
Which game was in foul trouble?
How many games have we lost?
Fouls in the first quarter.
How many games have we lost this playoffs? How many games have we lost?
Warriors lost. He had 3 fouls in the first half.
How many games have we lost in this whole playoffs? We lost 2 last series. We lost 1 this series so far. We haven't been losing.
I'm looking at the last 2 losses.
The last 2 games. The last two. Right. The last two losses that you had. The last 2. The
last 2 losses we had one against the Warriors and we had one the game before. Did we win the last 2 against the Grizzlies? It had to be game 5 or game 4 that we didn't win. We didn't win game 4 against the Grizzlies. So that was game 4 against the Grizzlies.
That was on the 26th.
Right. We play solid. The AD has been fundamentally solid this whole playoffs outside of 2 games. It's not been his defense that you've been questioning.
Yeah. No, so it's defensive fouls that I'm looking at here.
Right.
So it's essentially if they can get AD in defensive foul trouble early.
And that's not their forte because they're a jump shooting team. They don't really have too many people. Steph is willing to drive, but Steph is not physical to create contact. He's getting his shit piped.
That's the whole thing. I think that's why they need more of Wiggins. They need same thing with Maxey. Maxey and Wiggins
need him.
Play a lot of they can both drop step, pop the shot, got it. They can both hit it behind the 3-point arc decently.
Maxey
can both drive quickly.
Maxey's way more aggressive. Maxey's far more aggressive. He's far more aggressive than him because he's not flipping line for shots. Yeah, but if you're watching the tape, he's way more aggressive on offense as far as looking for his own shot and creating and attacking than Wiggins. Wiggins is more susceptible to just catching the ball, shooting it, or catching it and moving.
Wiggins can create, bro. I'm sorry.
What he can do and what he does is 2 different things.
He don't need a pick and roll. He
physically can do that, but what is the tape telling you that he's doing? It doesn't matter what he can do. What he can do is irrelevant. What is he doing? He's not doing that. So
and that's where the adjustment comes in there because when you sleep on the Andrew Wiggins and you just rely on just Curry as Clay try to beat you.
We will continue to sleep on. We will continue to sleep on Wiggins. If Wiggins is going to beat us, then fucking well, we will lose. If Wiggins is going to beat us, we will lose. It won't be Steph and it won't be Clay. That's what we're banking on. Anybody, ABC, anybody but Curry, ABK, anybody but Clay.
I do want to say, why are we skipping over the 14 average turnovers by the Warriors?
Hello, the defense. Our defense is dictating
and I understand they had turnovers in that first game, but do you think that's not going to be cleaned up?
No, because that's their tendencies all year. They're hot.
The defending champions that you're talking about.
That's hyperbole.
That's great.
That's hyperbole. That's hyperbole. That doesn't do anything for the. That's not
season.
That doesn't do anything against facts, bro.
everybody keeps doing this with them, like, oh, they've been here before and they're defending.
That doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean
means
nothing.
nothing. That means nothing. That means nothing.
Okay, so if you're Lakers fans, tell your Lakers fans to stop talking about the bubble championship. Stop talking about it.
Can we if you wanted to discuss the bubble championship, you could discuss it, but that has no bearing here.
You can't say
it has no bearing here.
You can't say, oh, we've been here before. I'm just saying.
We don't say that. We don't say that. What I say is that we play defense. That's what I say. We play defense. We're the number one defensive team since the trade deadline. We're the number one defensive team in the playoffs. We play defense.
All you have is the number one defensive team.
That's all that matters. And we have LeBron James on offense. We're going to get a good shot. We're not going to take stupid shots. That's not what we do. We don't take dumb shots. We live below the free throw line. We get you in foul trouble. We have two people that's attacking the hoop that's trying to get fouls the whole game. We play below the free throw line. That's how we play.
Like, you can't
now
say,
you add shooting.
You can't say, if we can't say the Warriors have been there before, we can't say the Lakers been there before. We can't say it.
Who said that?
We can't say it.
You talking about people, the fans don't know shit. Most fans don't know anything. They're not watching the games. Most fans aren't watching the games objectively. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not watching the games objectively. If we're watching it objectively, the Warriors are too small. We have guards that fight over screens, and we have a big that can show on the screen and recover. That's facts. How do you combat that? How? What play?
Listen, I understand that. We all know the Warriors is not a great role team. They have not been a great role team all year. We know that. But at the same time, I just feel like adjustments are made in basketball.
They're not getting the same second. They're not getting the same second chance opportunities. Let's start there as well. AD is eliminated the loony bullshit outside of the first game. Outside of the first game, we had it.
Less than 10. If the Warriors have less than 10, at least less than 10 turnovers in this game, it's a possibility they might just win this game.
It's a possibility.
There's a possibility because they one thing about the Warriors, they can move well without the basketball and they share the basketball.
Yeah, most definitely.
So if they could clean up on their turnovers and get quality shots,
it's hard to get quality shots against a good defense when you got switchable players.
It doesn't matter what team it is. Any NBA player in this league is going to get a quality shot.
Against a good defense, they had a free open looks from Clay coming off of screens and shit. But by and large, when they're running their offense, they have been the AD has been showing, the big has been showing on the screen, so they're not getting a free look off the curl, and they're not an attacking team as far as driving the hoop.
When Klay Thompson, or if it was you, it was one of y'all, if Klay Thompson don't start off fast, he's going to struggle all night. One of y'all said that.
He's gonna struggle. That was
that's what I'm saying.
It's the defense that's dictating that, though.
We noticed that about Klay.
Yeah,
Clay's not
his first 5 or 6 shots. If he doesn't make those, he's going to struggle.
The thing is, Klay can get nuclear at any time, so I won't discount Klay. I think that he's, as far as streak shooters, he's the best streak shooter on the team. He's the best streak shooter in the league. When he gets hot, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. But that's why outside, when we switch that Reeves matchup, because he's shooting over the top of Reeves. Once you switch the Reeves matchup and get taller, light-sized defenders on him, he can't create his own shot. He can't create for nobody else. That's not in Wiggins' game. That's not in Klay's game. Draymond's facilitating, but we're playing off of him. We're not guarding him. It's just the facts of the situation. I like the.
And it looked like, and this is, you must have lost signal because you was talking a bunch of BS.
Yes. Like, listen, I know the Lakers defense is good and they've been playing lights out. They really have. But I just feel like Steph Curry tonight is going to look for the double screens, triple screens. He's going to be moving and facilitating. And every open look is an open look for Curry. I look for him to score and score often.
Yeah.
Right? And literally the second, third looks, I don't think they happen tonight. I think it's as soon as he kicks the ball out, they flush. They're not going to wait. It's not going to be 2-3 passes. Everybody's going to be looking scared. It's going to be Steve Kerr and say, you get the ball, you get a look, shoot. Don't hesitate, shoot. And I think that was the big thing that happened last game. Anthony Davis and the defense of the Lakers really pressured them, and they were second-guessing themselves. I watched Klay not once, not twice, but 3 different times. He had perfect open looks, and he hesitated. And just as he hesitates and then goes to shoot, you see him coming in with the like they're going to, you know what I mean, with the defense. and it gets pushed off the front.
That's what happens when you're getting harassed all game. When you're being harassed from inline to inline, that plays a part in it. That plays a huge
good thing. But the whole point is, if he doesn't hesitate, if Curry doesn't hesitate, if Wiggins don't hesitate, if they play free and they play their game, I see the Golden State Warriors running away with it.
See, their game is coming off. Their game is coming off of screens freely and dribble handoff, pin downs and shit, and just live it.
So you think that Curry? So you think Curry can't shoot the ball well without getting a screen?
Against a good defender when he's up in his face, how is he going to shoot it? It does matter.
You're not going to run a screen past Wiggins and Draymond. I don't care what defender you have on the Lakers. LeBron himself ain't going to get around both of them guys like that enough to stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why you switch the matchup. You put AD on the Draymond pick and roll crap. You put him in that action.
I'm Curry. I take Davis all day long because
he can't though.
He's off and comes towards that 3-point line. I'm stepping in. I'm
he did it. He did it one time. He did it one time and he got a layup. He did it one time where he split. He did split and he got the layup. That was one time throughout the whole game. Yeah. He can't do it. He can't do it because AD's been solid. The guard's getting back over.
No, he's talking like the Warriors does not have a chance.
I'm talking about schematic shit, bro. That's all I'm talking about. Our guards.
Nothing great about the Warriors this whole segment.
The Warriors. They what do they do good? They shoot. Do they play defense?
And what about they bigs?
No.
Like, are we forgetting AD is averaging 21 points, 13
He's
rebounds,
killing.
4 blocks?
He's killing them. There's nobody on their bench.
If that's the case, then why are we looking at a 2-1 series and not a 3-0? If that's the case,
I mean, but
because they bounce back.
AD so dominant. If AD so dominant in this series, why are we looking at a 2-1 series instead of a 3-0?
Because they won one game desperately after going down 1-0 at home. They knew for a fact it couldn't go down 2-0 at home. It couldn't be. But
still, y'all beat them at home already, right? Y'all was already at 1-0.
We 1-0.
What you should have did was, go back to AD again.
They're the best home team in the league for a reason.
And I can say the game
they won their whole game.
He shot 58% from the field. He shot 60% from three. He had a double-double, 20 and 12. Now the 2 games he lost, game 1 he shot 41%. Game 3 he shot 42%. Game 3 he shot 40. So both of the games they lost, he shot under 45%, almost under 40%.
That's defense. You only get a test at the defense. It's not that he can't shoot. It's the fact that he's not getting the same quality shots as he was getting. That's just a fact. Yeah. That's just a fact in the situation. Our guards, as I keep saying, our guards are fighting over screens, and our big is showing on the screen. So he can't just come off and just jack the shit.
Well, if that's the case, then y'all should be up 3-0. If that's the case, then y'all should be up 3-0.
They play good.
If he's playing well like that,
they play good. They play good game 2. They play
that well.
They play good game
playing 2. That well. Then Struder's playing that well on a
defensive side
of the ball. If y'all the best defense in the NBA, y'all should be up 3-0. Simple
we
as
should
that.
be, but we're up 2-1. We're up 2-1. We're up 2-1 on a team that we should. We're up 2-1 on a team that everybody and their grandmother thought that we would be down 3-0. That's just the fact. Nobody had us. Nobody had us up 2-1. Nobody had us up. I know what you're saying. Hey, Mac, I get what you're saying, Mac. Mac, I hear you, Mac. But I'm talking about pundits and the betting line had us down, losing every game. It should have been a sweep. In their eyes. We were fooled to them.
Is smoking crack.
That's because Las Vegas wants your money. That's because Las Vegas wants your money.
I know that. I'm just
paid too much to do no.
I'm just speaking the facts of the reality of the situation. Nobody had us being up anything. If anything, they had us being down 3-0 or 1-2.
He said Robbie Anderson.
Nobody had it.
Finally seeing that. Yo, he said that mad long ago.
I ain't even checking the comments.
Nobody had us up, bro. Nobody had us up. All puns. This
Golden State Warriors going to be a good series. I knew for a fact that it was going to be a good series. I didn't say, people kill me sometimes. Some fans just overdo it because the Lakers won game 1. It was people in my chat. I'm telling you right now, bro. It was people in my chat saying Lakers in 4.
I wouldn't have been surprised if
said,
they
what?
came out flat as shit game
Bucks are
2.
too physical for Golden State though. I feel like
We came out. Thank you.
They're way more.
Thank
physical.
you. We
They're
play.
way more
We play a physical style of basketball that the Warriors do not. They were last in free throw attempts. They were first in free throws given up. They were last in fouls drawn. They were last. They were first in fouls committed. They're not a physical team. We're going against a team in the Lakers that were first in free throw attempts. We live in the paint. We do the things that are the kryptonite of this team.
Yeah.
We have guards that play defense. Basketball is not. It's not like football where some random shit may happen. When you only got 5 people on the court and it's being funneled in and directed into certain shit, tendencies play out and they continue to play out. Steph Curry's gonna have to go nuclear. He's gonna have to go fucking crazy. He's got to go crazy, and that means coming across half court and just shooting shit. Because 9 times out of 10, Dennis Schroeder's going to be in his ass from the inbound. Vanderbilt has been guarding him from the inbound. And then you set the screen, here goes AD. But hey, I digress. We'll see.
We will see. We will definitely see what happens. I think this series is going to 7, in my opinion. I think it's one. I think it's playing chess. It's playing chess with these coaches.
Six at the most. It ain't 6 at the most.
I don't see it in
LA without the dub.
I don't see it in 6. I see it in 7 some way, somehow.
If Davis don't put over 20 on the board and with at least 10 rebounds,
he'll need 20. He'll need 20. He had 16. He had the one outlier game in the last ones. He had 16 against Memphis, and we won that game. He had one bad game this series.
That's against Memphis, though.
Memphis is a better defensive team. Yeah, you're right. Memphis is a better defensive team.
You're
right.
They're not better.
You're right. But we're killing them on defense. We're killing them. That's where they're being killed at. They're not playing defense. And Memphis is the better defensive team.
Yeah.
The Warriors are being destroyed defensively. They have no answers for the shit that we're doing.
No matter how many buckets you make,
they have no answers. They have no answers for what we're doing defensively, for what we're doing offensively or defensively. Really,
like I said, adjustments will be made by Kerr. He's a championship for a reason. But hey,
I want to know I'm trying to figure out what the adjustment is going to be. That's all I want to see. I guess I'll have to see the adjustment.
Making it a more running game. You're gonna have to run.
Instead of
run. You're going to have to make the defenders work. When you set up 2 and 3 picks and then pass the ball to another's guy who's running a pick or 2, and you're talking about 4 off-ball picks coming.
That's what they normally do, though.
Like
that's their offense.
Ways to get Steph Curry.
They run a motion offense. That's what they do. That's their whole shit. And we have negated that.
They're running one-man pick. They're just doing Draymond come up pick, and he's forcing a shot.
You know, they tried the off-ball shit with Steph Curry game 1 and they lost. Once they put Curry on the ball, they won. We adjusted to that. Now, what is the counter to that? What do they do now? Do they go back to putting Curry off the ball?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, the whole simple fact is though, you look at the second loss the other night. Where was Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
Where was Klay Thompson?
Hey, that's Klay. That's been Klay all year. That's been Klay all year.
That's what I'm saying.
That's been Klay all year. Tendencies matter. That's been Klay all year.
That's where I'm coming at. Like if Curry plays his game, and anytime he's not open, give it to Wiggins. Let Wiggins drive it in. If Wiggins can't take it to the cup, kick it out.
I think the
person either Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, somebody's gonna shoot.
The person that y'all forgetting in the whole mix is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has been playing like shit all playoffs, and he's getting paid.
You know why though?
And he's getting paid
because he complains so damn much about a foul. It don't make no damn sense. He complains like a 7-year-old girl.
He doesn't guard
him like 144.
And where Poole is right now.
He complains. He's in his mind. This is my thing. When you see Jordan Poole, his body language is not
White
the same
Dante. I like White Dante. White Dante's been cooking. White Dante's been cooking. I like Dante. I like White Dante.
Yeah, I think if he's going off the bench, he'd be good too.
Yeah.
He got to be going off the bench too.
But at the end of the day, you bringing in 2 people, him and GP, that's not really scorers. They plotting in the corner. They setting screens. We're not guarding them. The same way that Dennis Schroeder waved off Moses Moody, we're not guarding these people that come out the bench for them. We're literally not.
But if you don't guard them and they make their shots, you're going to regret it.
Yeah. That's if they make their shots. Tendencies matter. They haven't been making them. They haven't been making them.
They made them in the first 2 games. They were just off in game 3.
Who made him in the first? They didn't make him in game 1.
Poole was making shots. Well, Peyton didn't really play that much because we don't get
Poole didn't. Poole, none of them did anything game 1. Game 2, they had a little bit of more production. Game 3, they went back to not doing anything. So which game did they do something?
What makes you think it won't happen tonight?
Because they have shown that they haven't done anything. So we will continuously bank on the fact that JP.
So that's why I'm saying the same thing about Davis. How many up and down games has he had in this playoffs? And that
up and down.
He's consistently been up and down.
I agree.
Up last game, I'm betting on it down.
This is coming from a Lakers fan.
Offensively, maybe.
True Laker fan right here.
Offensively, I'm just saying. Offensively, his scoring has been what it's been. Defensively, he's been solid all playoffs. That's just a fact. That's not hyperbole. That's not saying anything crazy. Defensively, he's been who he's been. That's just it. If we get production like we've been getting from D'Lo and all these other players, Rui averaging 20 when we don't really need it, you feel me? Shit like that. Reeves.
Say one of them have a bad shooting game. Say Russell only gets 8.
Now it's too many ifs. It's too many ifs now. Now you're going into the bag of ifs. There's
too
many ifs.
Act like D'Lo
That's too many ifs.
We're not going to act like D'Lo didn't have a terrible series against the Memphis Grizzlies. We're not going to do that.
D'Lo had a terrible series in the beginning. The last 2 games he was killing. The last 2 games we won, he killed.
That's one guard we can say that's very inconsistent in the playoffs, and that's D'Lo.
Right. He had the last 2 games that we won against Memphis. He had a good game. The first game, he had a good game. Second game, he didn't against Golden State. Third game, he did have another good game. So in the past 5 games, he's had 1 bad game. That's all I'm going off of. History. He's been is Steph going to stop D'Lo? Because he's been killing him. We've been hunting Steph Curry. Steph Curry ain't guarding no fucking body. Even Clay.
We're not okay. So
even Clay. Clay is step too slow now. Clay ain't guarding shit.
That's a
Clay ain't guarding shit. I'm a pure basketball fan. If I was any other type of fan and they didn't play defense, I would talk about it. The same thing I've been talking about with Joker all this time. Joker don't play no damn defense. I'm a defensive guy. If you're not going to play defense, you don't have a chance at winning. The last 4 or 5 champions in the NBA were top 5 in defense. Fact. If you're not going to play defense, you're not going to win a championship. I don't give a fuck how far you think you're going. Golden State last year, what was their ranking last year in defense? Okay, then. They played defense last year. Where's their ranking now this year? They don't play defense.
Sometimes it be them teams that get underestimated that just shocks the world. We've seen it many a times.
Ain't nobody underestimating the Golden State Warriors. The reigning champ. I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. I'm just acknowledging the fact that we play defense.
Warriors, but we got to get on to the next topic, man.
You're saying that there ain't no way that they can shoot, they can outscore. Like you said, we've all seen Golden State score many points really quickly.
Right.
I mean,
against the Kings. Against the Kings, this the playoffs. We're not talking about they're not going to play the Rockets tomorrow. They're going to play the same team today. They're not playing a different team. They're playing the same exact team. They're playing the same exact defensive team. It's not going to be a switch up on who they're guarding.
Come into play. You really think that the Lakers going to come in with this? What? If the Lakers think, wait.
Tell me.
I got you.
They're going
to come in with the same.
I'm telling you basketball shit. I'm telling you basketball shit.
Think they're going to win? You're smoking.
Tell me the adjustment.
With the same strategy and think
you're the coach. You're the coach. You're the coach. You're the coach and former player. What adjustment does Golden State need to make offensively?
Attack.
That they get attack.
How do they do that?
Fouls on offense.
How do they do that?
Everybody, Wiggins getting the ball. He's driving at Davis. We're doing.
But he's been solid all season, though. But he's been solid. That hasn't worked all year.
We are
when Wiggins attacked the rim on that fast break, what happened? He got his shit piped. When Wiggins has been attacking the rim, he's been turning down shots.
The other night,
that's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. He haven't even been
Davis the other night, but you say he haven't hit chip block. But they didn't jump on Davis the other night.
You're talking about one play off of a rebound, bro.
He went to the rack.
That was off of a rebound. That was off of a rebound, bro.
It doesn't matter. You're a rim protector.
It does matter because that's not the same. Because
he's the best defender in the playoffs.
He's helping on one shot, contesting another shot, and get the long rebound. He grabs it and dunks.
He got dunked.
That's not an excuse. That's what actually happened. He didn't drive passes. No, because he didn't drive past his man, and AD was waiting for him, and he dunked on him. That's not what happened, bro.
Oh my God.
Did you watch the play?
Regardless, if you're standing there and you jumping the same,
if you think a putback dunk is the same as somebody beating their initial defender and dunking on the player that's sitting there waiting, you really don't know basketball.
Wiggins, bro.
You really don't know basketball if you think that him getting it off of a rebound is the same as him beating the initial defender and AD is waiting for him.
Wiggins get the rebound though.
How did he? You didn't. I'm questioning whether or not you actually watched the game when you said that. I'm really questioning.
I do the play-by-play
because it came off of a long rebound, sir. AD was contesting the shot on the other side.
You said a long rebound, right? You said a long rebound. That means it gives time for AD to recover as a rim blocker, right or wrong?
Right. He's got a running start to the fucking hoop, bro. It's not the same as.
It doesn't matter.
If you think that's the same as Andrew Wiggins taking the ball and beating his initial defender and then dunking on AD as he's standing there waiting.
Guys making so much excuses for them, but
it's not an excuse. That's just facts. If you think that's the same, you don't know basketball. That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, bro.
It's not the same thing. Okay, great.
That's not the same thing.
Both you guys are saying a dunk is a dunk. Yes, that is correct.
That's correct.
I'm saying he's involved with one side of the defense. He's
hello.
That happens. He's got to turn around.
Hello.
But if you look at the play, Matt, if you look at the play,
he could have recovered, but in a perfect time, in a perfect world, he
recovered from the rebound. He came to be a rim blocker.
But if you're using it as your guiding, like to say that Wiggins is going to have an explosive offensive game, then I don't really know what to tell you.
I'm not saying that, but we're not going to sit here and act like Wiggins never went to the basket, though. That's all I'm saying.
He went to the basket. That he got.
Wiggins probably gonna have a big game. He might have a big game depending on how he's defended.
That's one play that he got the one up on him. What other plays did you see that when he attacked the basket that he went up with the shot with aggressiveness to score?
I'm going off.
I'm going off all the games. Which play?
The game the other day, he drove to the basket twice from the 3-point line. Who was guarding him? I think LeBron James was guarding him the first time. LeBron fouled the paint and then let him go because LeBron didn't want to foul him.
And he got a layup. AD was in foul trouble as well. I remember that play. You're talking about, and that's two plays.
You can do it if it's there. So
it hasn't been there though. Hasn't been there.
But it might be. You never know.
About the game plan.
You can't talk about Mike. The game plan is to play off of him, and he's really not a shooter. So we're playing a drive.
We never know, and it might happen because the game has not been played yet. Yeah, we don't know what adjustments is going to be made until the tip-off actually happens.
Right. So we have to base our analysis off what we have seen. What we have seen is that when he drives to the hoop, AD is standing there deterring anybody from shooting the ball.
Okay.
That's just facts.
Okay.
That's just facts, bro. I'm not trying to be. It's not about being a Laker fan. When he drove against, when they drive to the rim, if he's standing right there, the best defensive big in the league, and they're not shooting the ball, what is that telling you? That they're deterred from shooting it around this player because he's contesting all shots and he's blocking the rest of them.
Well, see,
that's just facts.
I think that's the big
that's where it goes back to where Steve Kerr looks at film and tells them to go to the basket and get that man in foul trouble.
You're telling them to do something that's out of. You're telling them to do something that's out of their tendencies. That's out of their league history tendencies.
You have to do
that. Ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
You have to do something different.
If you're gonna,
the best defense,
that's playing into our hands. That's playing right into our hands.
Nothing that I can do.
That's playing right into our hands.
Then what can I do? The only thing I can do is attack you.
That's playing right in. That's playing right. Hey, Mac. You know I'm leaning towards you, Mac. Mac, you know for a fact that's playing right into our hands. You know for a fact that's playing right in. That's playing right into our hands. That's what we want to do.
But in a way, it doesn't.
How doesn't it?
If we get Anthony Davis 3 fouls before the second half and put him on the bench the last 8 minutes of the quarter.
Right. That's obvious. The defense changes.
That means it worked. That means it worked, right?
Right. The defense changes.
If it goes the other way, if we're driving in the paint, and Anthony Davis is blocking and knocking every fucking thing down,
which he's been doing all playoffs.
There you go.
Which he's been doing all playoffs since the trade deadline. So I'm trying to figure out when his defense has never slipped. His defense hasn't slipped.
Was this? Do you think the Lakers going to blow out the Warriors for a second straight game?
I don't think they're going to blow them out. No, they're going to come back ready to play, but we're home. I think we're going to get the win. 5 or 10 points.
Team is within 5 points. And it's really going to come down to the last 3 shots.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if it comes down to the last 3 shots, we have the better defensive team. We have the better odds of getting a quality look versus their defense than they have at getting a quality look against our defense. That's just facts. That's not hyperbole. That's not being a Laker fan. That's just the facts based on what we have seen and the tendencies of these 2 teams the whole season.
I just feel like you underestimate the shooting of the Golden State Warriors.
I'm not underestimating the shooting. I'm not underestimating the shooting. They've been shooting the lights out.
In your mind, you think that the Golden State Warriors is going to have back-to-back slump shooting nights, and I don't see that happening.
They don't miss. They don't miss
like 30 on your night.
They don't miss 12 shots. They don't miss 12 shots out of 30
on your guards tonight.
They don't miss 12 shots out of 13 by accident, not by just missing it. That's not by mistake.
Tonight. He would get
that's not by any probably will, but the rest of them probably won't do shit.
Okay.
Because our defense, that's what our defense has been doing all season, bro.
Okay.
I'm basing off of facts. I'm not saying, oh yeah, we the Lakers and we gonna do this. No, I'm giving you raw numbers and raw statistics, bro. That's what we are. Now, if we're something else, then okay. If we're the worst defensive team and we have an open lane to the hoop, then okay. That's not been us all season since the trade deadline. This is facts, bro.
We'll see.
That's one thing we can do.
That's all we can do is wait for the games tonight because I will be doing both of the games tonight. So,
hey,
hands up. It's going to be a fun night because I love when the Lakers fans come in there because I love to troll their asses all the time. I love to do it.
Hands up, bro.
I'm a Laker troll. I don't care because anybody that I know,
problem.
I troll the Lakers all the time because they talk about their 17 championships. They talk about their bubble championship. I troll.
You're too busy. You're too busy trying to troll instead of focusing on the facts.
I troll because I'm a personality, bro. I'm a personality.
I get it.
So I troll.
I get it.
I go all about watching the game and trolling at the same time.
These fans, your fans, and potentially our fans, they need the facts and they need the reality of the shit sometimes. They need reality. Perception is not reality.
This is why we had the show, bro.
Perception is not reality. You may perceive one thing.
Like assholes.
Everybody got one. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But I forgot to talk about the Suns and Nuggets series. I forgot to talk about this and the Jokic technical foul. We forgot to talk about this, and it's kind of iffy for me because we saw the owner get the basketball, hold on to the basketball. Yank the ball out of the owner's hand. He tried to yank it out, couldn't get it, but he did end up getting it anyway.
Right.
And then he shoved the owner. If you see it from a different camera.
Yeah, he shoved.
Do you think the NBA is going to take more investigation on this to see I don't think they will suspend Jokic. I don't think they will because
I think it's going to be fine and it's going to be done and over with. Yeah. It's already pretty much over with. And I mean, if you watch the clip, like the fan behind them actually tries to take a swing at Jokic.
Yeah,
so that right there just proves that him, even though the guy's the owner, whatever, he's impeding with the basketball game. You don't hold on to the ball. It doesn't matter what fan, what owner. You're there to watch the game. If you're not, then you can go somewhere else.
I think if he'd have just left it at him trying to take the ball, he would have been okay.
I think
him shoving him is a problem because he's interacted with someone in the stands in an improper way. That's why he got the tech. He didn't get the tech for simply trying to take the ball away.
Yeah,
it was for the
play. Watch the video. Watch the whole play. I think the fan behind the owner grabs Jokic before he pushes the owner, and I think
he kind of like gave him like a little push on the arm. He gave him like a little push on the arm.
Oh, somebody's touching me. You're not allowed to touch me.
They threw him out the game. He ain't coming back in no more games.
But they threw him out the game. The basketball came to the owner. The owner picked it up. He was checking on his player that fell into the stands. So he didn't even see Jokic trying to come and yank the ball until Jokic actually touched the basketball and tried to yank it.
Right.
So from that angle, that's what I see. Now from the other angle, me personally, I didn't see the owner touch Jokic. I saw the push.
No, it was the guy behind him.
It was the guy behind him.
Okay.
The owner never touched him. That's what I'm saying. Like him pushing the owner, if he'd have pushed the fan that pushed him, it would have been a problem. It don't matter. You as the NBA player, you're not supposed to go. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, you're not.
There's repercussions for everything. I think not to be that guy, but I think if he had a certain different type of complexion or persuasion, it would be a definite suspension. It would be a suspension coming. You had a physical interaction with a fan. Not that he was trying to brace himself for a fall, or he was trying to get up or something like that. He was trying to catch a fan. He pushed him. He saw him. He pushed him. He knew where he was.
Now,
he had the ball.
See it as not players, but players request, like when players get mad about what fans say in the stands and they got to get ejected from the game and leave the game and stuff like that. Do you feel like in that situation, Jokic should have been ejected?
Man.
I mean, it's just a question because we see it all the time when NBA players get upset at fans for saying stuff, and we see fans get kicked out after get paid their hard-earned money.
Would I have been mad if he got ejected? I wouldn't have been mad if he got ejected. I don't think he should have, but I don't think I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been like, well, he pushed the fan. You're not supposed to do that. Eject him. But it wasn't against a player on the court, so it's like I guess there's kind of that gray line, and he was pushed too, so it's like the.
I don't know. Is your laptop dying, brother? What is going on over there?
My boy wrong today, man.
Oh man, but listen.
Every time he get going, they turn
probably
right
at the
off.
service. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Or probably he's receiving a phone call, because usually when you mobile and you receive a phone call, sometimes it like kicks you out. You have to come back in. But I don't know. I mean, I just see it from that situation that I wouldn't mind the ejection, but at the same time, like I think he's just going to get fined. I don't see no suspension there.
I think it goes both ways. Like, we've all been to basketball games, right? I have never thought in my life, even when I've been to many Wizards games. I've sat down right behind the hoop. So I've had the ball come my way a few times. I've never thought, let me pick up the ball and hold the ball.
See, but you ain't the owner, though. This ain't your gym. You ain't the owner in your gym. I mean,
I don't care. You're there as a fan. You're sitting there as a fan. If you're owner, go up to the owner box. Go up to the owner's box.
I've seen Mark Cuban come completely on the court to argue shit. Coming from behind the hoop to argue shit. What that mean? They both billionaire owners.
But everybody know how Cuban gets down.
But that's no excuse, though.
No, it's not.
You cannot touch an NBA player. And the whole thing is, if you get an NBA player's face and you say something, and there's a certain code of what you can and what you can't do. Was he wrong in what he did? Absolutely. Should he have been ejected? No, I don't think so.
No.
Now, if he would have threw that elbow, like, he could have thrown that elbow and like actually to do damage or to hurt somebody, absolutely. I think he should have been ejected and fined and probably suspended for.
I think throwing the elbow alone is kind of. I would not be surprised if
the elbow needed to be drawn to the owner. I don't think it needed to be drawn. If it was another guy that hit you, you should have hit him.
He would have definitely got ejected.
I thought when somebody touches you, you touches them back. But I feel like the owner didn't touch Jokic from what I saw.
He didn't.
I see it as.
So why did he push the owner then?
I don't.
There you go. That's why he got attacked. It was excessive. He didn't have to push the owner. He snatched the ball, but he didn't get the ball back, and then he turned around and pushed him. He didn't have to do it. Then the guy put his hands on Jokic after he pushed the owner. He pushed the owner first, and then the guy pushed and made like the waving motion against Joker's arm, and then he threw him out the game. He was trying to get the ball first. He didn't snatch it away, and then he took and pushed him. Like, what the hell? I don't know, bro. I think it's just, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm really going to be interested in what the NBA does with this situation here. I'm really hopefully they get it right so they won't mess up this series. I know that Jokic is a big.
Hold on. I'm watching the replay now. The owner did push Jokic
Did
before
he?
Jokic touched him. He grabbed the ball. The owner pushed his hip. I'm watching.
Was he pushing him to get him to keep him away, or was he?
Yeah,
how was he pushing?
Jokic grabbed the ball from him. he then pushes Jokic at the hip, and then.
But my thing is this though: why Jokic was grabbing the ball from him, where the ref should have just came in and got the ball.
Yeah, that's the ref's job. That's not Jokic's job.
It's still a reaction after reaction.
It was definitely antagonized by Jokic, where I do see a fine. He's definitely going to get fined.
I can see a fine. The suspension would not shock me. It wouldn't shock me. It just wouldn't. I think if he was anybody else,
it was like a chain reaction, basically.
If it was Draymond, Draymond would have been suspended last night. The suspension would have came down last night.
Agreed. If that was Draymond Green, he would have been ejected from the game and suspended for one game because
if Draymond steps on Grant Williams' head like Embiid did, he gets ejected. It doesn't matter. He has history.
Draymond Green has a confirmation of him kicking.
I know. I'm just saying. I know he has history. I'm just saying.
I understand that's what you want to use, but
I'm just saying, bro.
If LeBron did that, does LeBron get suspended? Does LeBron get ejected?
That's too high level of a player. I think LeBron probably doesn't even receive a tech. He doesn't even receive a tech for pushing the owner.
That's the problem.
That's LeBron. I think they hold LeBron to a higher standard. I don't agree with that. I'm a Lakers fan, not a LeBron fan. Let me clarify that for all the people who are watching. I am a Los Angeles Lakers fan. LeBron just so happens to play for the Lakers. I'm not a LeBron James fan.
That. Now I'm not an
uber LeBron James
fan. That's just LeBron fans. I don't.
No, that doesn't make sense. I'm not a LeBron James fan. I've been a Kobe Bryant fan my whole life. I liked the Lakers, but Kobe Bryant was on the bench behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. So I've been liking the Lakers forever.
A lot of fans won't say that though.
Because a lot of fans are bandwagon. They ride the bandwagon, bro. That's what they do. I was celebrating championships when Kobe was doing it with Pau Gasol. So that's what we do. We hang championship banners.
I love to hate Kobe so much, man.
Man, Kobe's that dog.
I can't hate Kobe because he's from our city, man. I can't hate Kobe.
Oh no! I
can't hate him. As much as I hate the Lakers, as a Sixers fan, I could never hate Kobe.
Kobe the closest thing to Mike we ever seen.
The Boston dynasty.
Kobe the closest thing to Mike we've ever seen.
Yeah, as a Boston fan, you should be mad at the Lakers, bro.
Yeah. I get it.
I love Kobe as like when you're talking about a top 3 guy of all time. Like he's in my top 3. Kobe Bryant. Like when you talk about clutch time players, I take him over LeBron James any day. And that's
when it comes to clutch times, agree.
Yes, I'm talking about points. I'm talking about Kobe. I need 8 points so we can win this damn game. Kobe gonna go out and get you them 8 points that you need.
Yeah.
But LeBron's gonna help you get those 8 points, maybe.
See, talking NBA, we forgot about all the NFL topics. We'll keep those for tomorrow, though.
Got you. Bring the NFL back tomorrow. I got a lot to say.
Because I know a bug down there. He wanted to talk about that
Bijan Robinson,
that Bryce Young. He wanted to talk about that. I know you're a Carolina fan, bro. I know you are. You're a Panthers fan.
No.
How the hell? Why did they do that? Why did they waste the pick last year on Carroll and then turn around and pick Bryce Young? I don't get it. Do they not believe in Carroll at all? Like,
then they go they're gonna start Andy Dalton.
No, clearly not.
What was the point of the Titans picking Will Levis and they just drafted Malik last year? I don't get it. Yeah. That's another one I don't understand. I don't get it.
I mean, did you see him throw? Did you see him throw? I saw him throw.
I've seen him throw. Why waste the pick on him last year then? They knew what he could do last year.
I mean, obviously, their scouts lied. Or they didn't do their work that day. I don't know what it was, but
I don't know what the Titans saw in Will Levis anyway, because my favorite college football team is Tennessee. And I watched the SEC. He did not do well against top 10 teams that was on their schedule. Will Levis, I try to tell people that he wasn't a top 10 pick. He wasn't a first round pick. And look what happened.
No.
He fell to the second round.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you why. Peyton Manning, the Mannings, that's the main reason why he got picked. When they took him to football school, believe it or not, Will might not be high graded on the field right now. But
he's good on the board. He's good on the board.
Like memorization, understanding who's open, hot routes.
He's good on the board.
He was damn good. And that's
not
exactly
against my Tennessee. My Tennessee kicked his ass.
No, just on the board. On the
against
board,
Tennessee, we kicked his ass. He only had like what 100 and something passing yards on us.
When the bullets flying around, he get a little timid for sure.
I mean, I just felt like Tennessee. I think they're desperate for a quarterback, but I felt like you could have tried to develop Malik Willis before you went out and got Will Levis. Understand you want to do the quarterback competition in the training camp. I get it.
Yeah. He's not guaranteed to start.
Athletically,
he's not guaranteed to be
Willis is better than Levis athletically.
The reason why they picked Will is they're going to have him sit
it was value. It was value at that point.
They did not draft him to play. They drafted him as a system quarterback that they're either already adopting or they're going to adopt.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason. They drafted him for the future. They're not drafting him for the right now. They're not in win now mode. They're in rebuild mode. So they need to find a quarterback. They're going to rebuild that line. They're going to rebuild their defense. Well,
I don't need to go back to NBA, but I just got a tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski about the 2022-2023 All-Rookie First Team that came out. What is it? The guy Paolo Banchero from Orlando Magic, Kessler Walker, Keegan Murray, Jalen Williams, and Benedict from the guy Benedict
Mathurin. Yeah,
that's the all first team for all rookie first team. All rookie second team was Jalen Duren, Tari Easton, Jayden Ivey, Jabari Smith Jr., and Jeremy Sochin.
Okay.
That was your first and second team all rookie. That's what was just put out not too long ago. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick for your first all rookie teams. That's all rookie.
The rookies this year have been they've been rookies. So I'll just say that much. They've been rookies. A lot, even the best ones on the first team, like Ivy has had a slow start, had like a mediocre end to the season. Sohan is trapped in San Antonio, so nobody really knows who he is. Same thing with Kamari Easton in Houston. Nobody really knows who he is.
I pulled his jersey card.
I mean, Keegan Murray, he had some big spurts in that Golden State series.
He had some big spurts after probably about like game 2 or 3 because he was kind of iffy the first couple of games. So,
but I think him being a starter for the Sacramento Kings and Mike
going
Brown
forward for sure.
I think that experience really helped him. I think he's going to leap in his second year.
They got to either get Harrison Barnes out of there or put him on the bench because I like the veteran leadership.
No, Harrison was thinking it up.
He cannot start anymore. He can't start.
Harrison Barnes is not a starter anymore in his league.
Yeah, he's not a starter anymore. He's not. He's a great role player coming off the bench. You want him in your locker room. He's a great guy. All that, but he can't start. You can't start him.
All right, so we're gonna go with the last NFL topic here, and I know y'all all have your own NFL teams. So, Mac with the Baltimore Ravens. How do you grade the Baltimore Ravens draft? What I have to say,
double Ravens here. Ravens. I'll let Mac go first.
No. I'm gonna go last. I'm
saying we're both Ravens fans.
I got a lot to say about my Raiders because listen, I got a lot to say. I always talk my shit, and I'm not a biased ass Raiders fan. I'm not one of those.
Oh Lord, here we go.
So I'm not a biased ass Raiders fan, but I mean, y'all signed Lamar Jackson right before the draft started. Y'all got him his extension. How do you feel about the draft and how Baltimore addressed this draft? So how would you grade it?
So, I mean, if I'm going to give him a grade, I'd probably give him a B. Like, it wasn't absolutely spectacular, but it was solid all the way through. Like, we got good fuel for what we needed. And from the first pick, we got, what's his name, Flowers from Boston College.
I love that pick.
You're literally talking about a guy who can take the top off of the defense. He can run beautiful short routes. Yeah, I mean, he can do everything. Even if it's just, cut across and find the empty spot in the zone. You know what I mean? And he's good at doing it. He's got plenty of experience doing it. I was happy about it. Not who I wanted. I wanted us to pick an edge rusher in the first round, but we got Lamar Jackson, another weapon.
We have to keep doing that, though. I don't like that. We're spending too much capital on edge rushing, and it's not really panning out.
I mean, but who do we have?
I mean, we drafted Ogba. We drafted freaking
we drafted.
We got Owe.
Ogba,
we got Tyus Bowser. We got it.
What do we get from him? How many sacks all combined?
I agree. I think it's more
just
scheme than anything.
Three guys, not even 15 sacks.
I think it's been our scheme more than anything, and the rotation of the players. It's too much of a rotation.
That is the one thing, and I'll say this, and a lot of people will give me flack for it. That's why I don't like John Harbaugh, because he hired another yes guy as far as the defensive coordinator. He switched up our defense, put us in the 4-3 defense, right? You're talking about our cornerbacks are used to running man coverage. Now you got to run in zone half the time, right?
Yeah.
Now you got our linebackers. Our linebackers used to go between man and zone. Now you're strictly putting them in zone. That's why we had to go get Roquan Smith. That's why Roquan Smith dominated in our offense. I mean, our defense, because I only got to cover this zone right here. All I got to run sideline to sideline with these.
Because teams aren't running on us. Teams realizing that they have to pass on us to win. They have to. It's been a pass league. It's been an influx of passing. Yes. The game is too wide open. We can't really run a lot of. We really not even really running 3-4 or 4-3. We're running a lot of nickel defenses with 2 linebackers.
Yeah. Now here's our third round pickup. What's his last name? Thompson,
Simpson.
Right?
Simpson.
There you go.
Right.
I knew it was a son.
Yeah.
So I watched the tape from him. Dude, you're talking about a guy who, and I know we've all said it before. On the tape, he flashes like Ray Lewis did. I mean, this guy can just move. And he can blitz from the middle linebacker position. You can put him over on the edge. He's going to rush. You put him anywhere in the middle of the field, and he's going to sniff out that running back. And to sit there and watch it, and he's so consistent and fast. I was as soon as I saw the tape, I knew it. I was like, all right, this guy makes sense, especially with Patrick Queen's contract coming up.
Yeah.
So, which we know we're either going to trade Queen or we're going to let him play the rest of the year, and hopefully it does. It pushes our defense over the top.
My main question is in our cornerback room, honestly, because I feel like.
Because that's not Marcus Peters. I was kind of surprised about that.
Our 5th round.
We got the guy from the Raiders, but
no, y'all got Rock Ya-Sin. I'm gonna tell you what y'all getting from Rock Ya-Sin.
Stanford, Kelly. It was a 4-year standout. Like, this guy killed at the Senior Bowl. You're talking about he's an outside cornerback that I promise you, maybe not this year, but by next year he will be starting opposite Marlon Humphrey, and I'm telling you, he's gonna. We
need to move Marlon to the slot. Honestly,
at least 20 pass deflections a year.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to say, the knock on y'all getting Rock Ya-Sin, the best ability is availability, and that's the only thing I have an issue with Rock Ya-Sin. When he played with us, he wasn't getting beat. He was our number 1 corner. He was not getting beat, but. The best ability is availability, and that's you guys will hope to see if he's going to be available to y'all, because he stayed with that knee or that ankle injury, and it really hindered him last year from playing all 17 games. So that really hurt us as Raiders fans. But but Ed, you didn't make your pick. I mean, make your grade. You said a B, Mac, right?
Yeah.
I think the draft.
One more thing.
Go.
The draft as far as offensive lineman goes. Voorhees in the 7th round was
that's a major pickup.
Phenomenal. The guy pops on tape. He's got heavy hands, great footwork, and a big old butt. And if we know offensive linemen, they got that big butt. He's
anchored down. Yeah,
I promise you, he will be on the Marshall Yanda path. The guy is going to be on right guard. He's gonna practice under Zedler. And I guarantee by next year he will be the starting right guard for the Baltimore Ravens.
I think I agree because I deal with the draft grade a lot, but I like the whole offseason. I think the whole offseason as a whole is got to be an A. We get our quarterback back. We get him targets. We draft targets. We get a guy OBJ if healthy. If he can be healthy, and we have reworked our strength and conditioning for him, so hopefully that won't be an issue. If we can get him healthy and available, then that just opens up our offense immensely. And like you say, I just hope that we can get we want to see what Rocky Arcega can do, because I think that the question for me is still in the secondary, because we need another outside corner. I like Marlon in the slot more than on the outside, personally. So I would give it an A because we got our quarterback back. If we didn't get our quarterback back, it didn't matter what the hell we did.
It would have been. And the thing about it, I was kind of happy that y'all did that, because I always said about the Baltimore Ravens, when it comes to quarterbacks, they don't like to you don't like to invest in your quarterbacks just from the past. If you look,
we only invested one time.
We only invested one time, and that was Joe Flacco. So other than that, y'all really haven't really invested in quarterbacks like that. So I was happy that y'all finally got the deal done. I did not want to see Lamar Jackson in another uniform. I think he's meant to be a Baltimore Raven, in my personal opinion. I just think the way he went about it, he went about it the wrong way, but he went about it the way that he felt it was right for him. So we can have our opinions, but the way he went about it, that's the way it was the best way for him. But are you there, man? I want to talk about these Carolina Panthers, bro.
I'm not a Panthers fan, man. I'm not a Panthers fan. That pick was just.
Mm-hmm. And all right, so who's your team then?
I got the Dolphins.
Oh, you had to keep that on the hush, huh? Oh, y'all beat us, so I'll give y'all that. Y'all beat us, so I'll give y'all that. What the hell y'all gonna do with Tua? Can he play? Can he physically play? We know what he can do when he plays, but can he physically play? Like, is he going to be available? Shit, we know what he can do when he play. I think people underestimate his arm.
About the Dolphins draft, knowing that the Dolphins didn't really have a draft pick until like what pick? Because they traded away so much in the last.
Didn't they void their pick? I saw that they voided their pick or some shit. How did that happen? It was only 31.
I only think the Dolphins had a first round pick.
Yeah, it was only 31 picks in the first round. The picks went up to 31.
The Dolphins traded their first round pick. I forgot they traded to something. I forgot who they traded it to. But what would be your draft grade for the Miami Dolphins, bro?
I might get it like a C plus, maybe like a C plus, maybe like a C. I just got to be honest, bro. Like.
Not a C plus.
Like a C plus, man. Like, I mean, Cam Thomas.
Say that again, bro. All right, so I'm gonna wait for him to come back. I don't know what happened to his audio, but I'm gonna go to my Las Vegas Raiders. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Raiders, personally, off of draft needs in itself, just off the needs, I thought it was a pretty good draft for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, a lot of people were skeptical about us getting Tyree Wilson at 7. And I can understand that. But if you put on a tape for Tyree Wilson, he plays inside and outside. He can play both. And one thing about the Las Vegas Raiders and Josh McDaniels and this coaching staff, they're like versatile players that could do multiple positions. So watching me actually doing the film, I actually have it on my other channel, which is Spotlight Football Talk, that I have a full breakdown of Tyree Wilson. He's a freak of nature. He's an athlete, and he can play defensive tackle and the edge. So even if he doesn't start at the edge, we have Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. You could plug him inside as a starter right now. You really can, because our defensive tackles is not that great. They're not. So I like the pick at 7 for Tyree. I like the pick at 7 for Tyree Wilson. Now, only reason why I give the Raiders a B- is because why did we go get Trey Tucker in the 3rd round where we got 12? We already have 12 wide receivers on the depth chart going into mini camps. That didn't make sense. And then you got Aiden O'Connell from Purdue, the quarterback, which I feel like you could have got a better quarterback at that pick. I mean, Aiden O'Connell's he's all right, but I understand you want to look for a quarterback for the future, but you probably could have waited till like next year to go get a quarterback. For me, I think the quarterback class is better next year than it is this year. Just my opinion.
Backup quarterback besides
Brian Hoyer.
Oh.
Yeah, like
well, I mean, it makes sense then. It makes sense then,
but you could have got the guy Tainer from Stanford as the quarterback instead of getting Aiden O'Connell. So they was my only two that I had an issue with. I think I'll give it a B- because we addressed our linebacker position with Amari Burney. We addressed our defensive tackle with Brian Young from Alabama. And we addressed our cornerback position with Jacorian Bennett from Maryland, which was a sweet. I thought he was a steal. I think he was better than Kelly Ringo from Georgia, in my opinion. I think he fits our scheme a little bit more than what Kelly Ringo would have did. And I just like what the Raiders did overall, but in the draft. Now in the offseason, I'm not really too pleased about because am I wearing a Raiders hat or am I wearing a Patriots hat? That's where I'm at with it. Yes, I understand you got Myers in free agency. You went out and got, I was not really too big on the offseason for the Raiders.
What was the point? What was the point of getting rid of Derek Carr if you're going to bring in Brian Hoyer? I don't understand.
No, we wanted Jimmy Garoppolo, and this is what.
Well,
this is my whole situation about Derek Carr, because I was one of those Derek Carr fans.
You have to remember, this is a guy who's from Belichick. Belichick is one of those coaches, and it doesn't matter who he plays. Can you do this one job right? Oh, you can do this one job right? That's all I need you to do. As far as their quarterback, can you throw within 25 yards? Can you throw these routes? Yep. Okay, there you go. That's what I need you for. And he checks the boxes. And believe it or not, like a lot of people hate on Garoppolo. I can be one of them sometimes, but Garoppolo has played really good in big games.
Yeah. And Jimmy G shows up when it matters.
Can he play a full season?
Can he play a full season? His availability.
That's my only nervous thing about Jimmy Garoppolo, because if he gets hurt, the Raiders got to rely on Brian Hoyer. Like Brian Hoyer.
Yes.
Like if you ever look at the Raiders as a franchise, when Derek Carr got hurt, we had to rely on Connor Cook as a rookie to play in a playoff game. We never had a solid backup outside of Marcus Mariota. And then we did have Marcus Mariota. His availability wasn't that great. So when it comes to the history of backup quarterbacks as a Las Vegas Raiders fan, I'm nervous about that. That's the only knock I have on Jimmy Garoppolo, is the fact that his availability to stay healthy. Now, the whole situation with Ed was saying about Derek Carr, I knew this was going to happen by the regular season. I knew it. They already had questions going into the season if Derek Carr was going to be the future of it next season. But what made me mad is that you extend Waller, you extend Renfro, and you extend Carr. Why would you do that and put yourself in the situation that you did, where you just could have had Carr play it out and let him be a free agent and walk? So now you're losing money in the cap space because you want to re-sign Derek Carr for 2 to 3 more years. And then after that, you want to get rid of him. You try to trade for him, and what made it so crazy that where the Raiders messed up at, you put a no trade clause in his contract. That's where the Raiders messed up at. So you know what Derek Carr said, and this is parental advisory as well. Derek Carr, I know he's all about church and he's all about God, but he said, "Fuck the Raiders. I'm not giving y'all shit. I'm not giving y'all nothing for me." And that's exactly what happened.
They treated him like shit at the end of the year.
He treated him like shit.
You don't bench Derek Carr.
You can say what you want about Carr. But numbers don't lie when that man didn't really have anything of the 9 years that he was there. You can't name 5 receivers that he had in the 9 years that he was there that was great. You can't. So if you look at the receivers and the fact that he threw for almost 4,000 yards, damn near almost not that 4,000 yards in the last 4 seasons besides this year. He did it with Fresno though, because I mean between Jacobs being inconsistent and being hurt, it was like he almost pretty much had to throw the ball. He had to throw the ball.
So and he's accurate. So it's like, but he doesn't push the ball downfield a lot. He holds it sometimes too. He's looking for a good throw.
I'm not saying Derek Carr's a perfect quarterback, because I know he's not. Because one thing, I praise Derek Carr, but I criticize the shit out of him as well. I'm one of those fans that I'm not gonna be like, oh, Derek Carr's good at this, good at this. We all know sometimes he can panic in the pocket. He's scared to be mobile sometimes, because I think sometimes he still think about his broken leg. Sometimes he don't want to be mobile. And he can be very inconsistent at times. But at the same time, time in the 9 years that he was here, what does that organization have done to put a defense around him? He never had a top 10 defense in his 9 years. That defense was the bottom of the barrel the 9 years that he was here. And it probably still be the bottom of the barrel because Max Crosby ain't really got no goddamn help.
Mike Mayock kind of fucked that up because he drafted all those players. He drafted Cleve and Flero and the cornerback that wanted to be in guns, had guns in the videos and shit. And just, I think your whole shit just went down the drain once that shit happened. Once that shit happened with Henry Ruggs, it just fell completely off the ropes. Because even the shit with John Gruden was fixing. You get him out of there. The shit with Henry Ruggs really
got him out of there. And we went to the playoffs with Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The shit with Henry Ruggs is really fucked it up.
Yeah, but
that's the shit that really fucked it up. It put y'all behind the 8 ball.
And what was crazy about that is that in the draft, I didn't want Henry Ruggs. I thought CeeDee Lamb was the better receiver, in my opinion.
No
I
way.
I thought CeeDee Lamb was the better runner. I think CeeDee Lamb
Ruggs was just way more explosive.
Henry Ruggs is explosive, yes, but you can't put him in on every situation. He can't run every route in the routing tree. That's the only thing. That's the only knock I had on Henry Ruggs.
Y'all didn't need him though. Y'all didn't need him to do that. Y'all had receivers.
We come from a Raiders. We come from a Raiders where speed kills.
Speed kills.
You
Yeah.
got to run all the routes.
Cliff Branch. It's like the remnants of Cliff Branch is just hovering over top of the whole team. I took Darius Hayward Bay and all that shit.
Overall, for me, I give the offseason before the draft, I give it a C- because I did not like some of the pickups that we did get. Because we let a lot of good players go, like Denzel Perriman walked, Rock Ya-Sin walked. You know what I'm saying? So our linebacker core is still iffy. We're still iffy. We don't have no real veteran at the linebacker position right now. So in the offseason before the draft, I give it a C. But the draft grade of what we got in those 7th rounds. Because we did have 11 picks, but we traded so much we ended up having 9. So we only lost 2 picks. I'm giving it a B- for the draft. The guy at the top right, you in the DMV area. I think the one at the bottom and the one to the right, I think they both in Baltimore. I think they both in the DMV area.
We actually went to high school together.
Oh, yeah. Y'all actually went to high school together. That's crazy.
Patterson High School, 09.
Yeah, we both from the DMV area. Both went to Patterson, 09. Patterson all day.
Bryce, you came on so late, man. We've been on for like.
Where's the baby?
And where
you at?
We get ready to go.
Where you at?
Hey, I was talking earlier, but my audio started to mess up, man.
Yeah,
we all know you said that the Dolphins was a C-, almost a damn D. We already know what you said about them Dolphins, man.
Shit, I gotta head out. I gotta head out real quick. I'll catch up with y'all real quick.
We ended the show anyway. But if y'all do have social medias, let them know where they can find y'all at, man, so they can start following y'all.
On Facebook, Instagram. Facebook, yeah.
I got to point this way. Me and Rod are going to start a show soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Mainly about sports betting and the different
Facebook
that we have. Because you're ending this show real quick before you end the show, I got a couple picks for you guys. Here's my long shot bet for this evening for the Heat versus the Knicks. Jimmy Butler 30 points, Randall 30 points, and over. And taking the over, that'll give you a plus 950. That's gravy.
Yeah, 950. Yeah.
So then the one that I'm really leaning towards is Brunson for 20 points, Brunson 5 assists, Randall 5 rebounds, and taking the over is a plus 290. That's the one I actually got my money on. So,
I like that one. I like that.
I mean, it's just if you go by what they've actually been doing game by game, Brunson's hit pretty much 20 points every single game in the last 2 series, if not really close to it. He's been getting his 5 to 8. So I think once over the last 2 series, he's been over 10 assists in a game. Then switching over to the Lakers versus the Warriors. I have I'm taking Curry 4+ 3-pointers, Thompson 4+ 3-pointers, Jordan Poole a 3-pointer, and my I guess you'd say my maybe is Walker coming off the bench hitting a 3-pointer. He's done it in the last 2 games, so I definitely see he's going to come out off the bench sometime in the 3rd or 4th quarter with that second group, and he's been hitting clutch. So that right there. So the Curry, Thompson, Poole, and Walker 3-pointers. That's a plus 450. I mean that's about as easy as you can get. Like other than what Rod said earlier, I feel like Golden State is going to come out and they're going to come out shooting, and they're going to continue to shoot all night long. I feel like it might be some back and forth between the 2nd and 3rd quarter, but I feel like by the 4th quarter, if the Warriors have more than a 10-point lead, it's theirs. I feel like they're just going to continue to shoot until the game is theirs.
Absolutely.
Now, the other bet that I have that I feel like is pretty money is doing the point, assist, rebounds. Curry plus 30, Thompson plus 30, and Green plus 15. And then say on add the 3-pointers, Curry 4 3-pointers. I'm going Russell.
Hold hands. Hold mommy hand. Jesus, his lips.
Reeves and Poole both 3-point shot apiece. That one comes out to be 550 plus. So at the end of it, I feel like the Warriors are going to have an amazing shooting game. It just history predicts it. The way they've been going back and forth, and especially with, like I said, Anthony Davis's up and down play. If Anthony Davis does not have a back-to-back good games, I feel like the Warriors are going to take this one. And I mean, for the series, I definitely feel like the series is going to be 7. I don't think anybody's just going to be able to run away with it. It's going to be a little bit of back and forth, especially like the Lakers 2 games. I feel like the Warriors are going to win now. They have to win now. And when they're in that type of mode, Curry's just a different type of player. And we've all seen Curry go off and hit 9 3-pointers in a game. You know, same thing with Clay. It's just like if they shoot, they get hot. I just don't see the Lakers keeping up with them. But
absolutely.
I can see Clay. I can see Steph going nuclear. I can really see it. I just think that we at that kind of fees rated to our hands as well. If Steph going to go for freaking 50 or 40, and nobody else is going to play defense, nobody else is going to show up and score, we will gladly take that shit. We will shake Steph's hand and keep it moving. We will shake his hand and tell him good shit.
That's the bet lines for today's games that he posted. So with that being said, y'all,
right.
We'll be back same time, same place here on the Darion Hopkins Show. Y'all can follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter at DHopkinsShow. Facebook, Darion Hopkins Show. I do have a fan page for that as well. So make sure y'all check that out. Make sure y'all go over to SeatGeek if y'all want to do go to any sporting event, live event, anything of that nature. You can use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. And I know a lot of y'all use MGM or anything of that nature, but if you do want to use Bet Us, which is another sponsor that I do got for the Darion Hopkins Show, make sure y'all go over there as well and put your bets in. I do have the link in the chat as well. But thank y'all so much for another show. The crew is finally here for the Darion Hopkins Show. It was an awesome show. I love the sports debate. I love to talk my ish. I love to be a troll. That's just me.
Yeah, I'll get all my plugs in next time. Twitter and social media plugs in next time. But hey, man, they troll away, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a long night tonight. It's gonna be a long night tonight, bro. I'm telling you.
Well, I hope that you're in the chat tonight.
We'll be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely be ready for tomorrow. I will be doing the Knicks and Heat game at 7:30 on this channel, and I'll be doing the Lakers and Warriors as well on this channel. So make sure y'all come back for that. We out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, man. Don't forget, Mac and Bug is going to have their betting show real soon on whoever channel is going to be on. So make sure y'all go check that out, man, especially if y'all really into sports betting. A lot of information because I'm learning a lot as well. I don't know crap about betting at all, but I got hit up to promote the Bet Us. So I'm going to be promoting as much as possible because I don't know nothing about betting because I don't bet at all. But I appreciate y'all coming through, and we'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. It's the Darion Hopkins Show. We out of here.
All right.
Peace out. You had a good time, man?
Hell yeah.